Welcome into another Sunday night Pop Blender Unfiltered number 68. Here we are. Lovely, talented chat in the house. How you guys doing? As I adjust my headphones. Yeah, something's messed up. Oh well, it is what it is. We're not gonna spend too much time on it. I think I did that last week. Kills the dynamics of it right off the bat. How you guys doing, man? Hope you had a great Mother's Day. If you were able to celebrate with your mother, for those of you that maybe are not, hopefully you were able to call and hang out. And for those of you that mothers are not here, at least a day of remembrance and being able to maybe go visit, or whatever the case may be, that is brings you some comfort and helps you remember your mom, man, because they're the ones that brought us here in the first place. They're the ones that give us the ability to do this, to hang out with each other, to have some fellowship and shoot the shit and all that good stuff, man. So yeah, I'll give you guys a little bit of a rundown about my day was about cleaning the windows, cleaning my mom's windows, and that's a Mother's Day activity that happens every year. And so cleaning the windows for the whole house, inside and outside, and then doing some other outside chores like maybe weeding a mulch bed or uh, spraying for weeds, right? That kind of thing. You name it. Whatever it takes, whatever she wants, that's what it takes. So, but I'm glad that you guys are here to join me and hang out for a little while as I continually mess with my headphones and try to get them on the right track. But whatever, it is what it is. So let's see here. Let's say hello to a few people like Stanley Everhard Jr. the third. Shades of Dan Patrick. Tammy Taylor, Friday Night Lights, NBC, played by Connie Britton. Okay, so he's already got a jump start on the list. We're gonna get into the list, and we'll get into the list here in a little bit. I thought it'd be fun to come up with a list, and you guys can help me. A list of like the best TV moms in American television history, right? Like that would be a fun list to have. Whether we get to 20 to number one, or whether it's just a cultivated list that we do, curated by the chat. I may throw my 2 cents here or there, but I wanted you guys to participate because I thought it'd be a lot of fun. I thought, hey, what better way to celebrate moms and pop culture than the moms that a lot of us probably grew up with, that a lot of us had growing up, which was on television. And so I thought it'd be fun to do that, a little exercise. And as you guys throw them at me, not quite right now, but here in a little while, don't forget them if you've put them already in the chat. But as we get to that topic, you guys throw them at me. I'll look them up. We'll kind of put them on a list. I'll have a list set aside. And we'll kind of do a little exercise and see if we can't come up with our favorite TV moms. I did consider, however, doing the hottest TV moms, which is also a fun exercise. However, it could get a little spicy. So if you guys want to go there, I'm okay going there too. The one thing I didn't do is spray WD-40 on this gaming chair before I sat down. And I forget about it until I sit back down in it to do a stream, and then it starts going ring, ring, and all that bullshit. But you guys know about all that. So anyway, so here we are. Stanley, yes. Clint Jorgensen says Barbara Billingsley from Leave It to Beaver. Totally has my vote. Definitely not the mom of Zartan's kids. They left him as a single parent. Poor Zartan. Sabir, how you doing, man? Good to see you, brother. Shane is still here, I think, and has been working hard this weekend. So he's hanging on. Hanging on by his fingernails, man. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions, otherwise known as Checkpoint Bravo. What's up, man? Joe Fan 84, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you as well. Let's see here. Oh, and yeah, I have to put this. I'm ready to honor these mothers. Yeah, hey, look, like I said, what better way to honor the moms than for us to spend a little time putting together a list of our favorites. Now, they don't have to be the hottest, right? But like ones that you really like, the ones you connected with as a kid. I'm sure for some of you guys growing up, if your mom wasn't like the mom on Family Ties or Growing Pains or The Cosby Show or whatever, it's like maybe you wish that was how your mom was. You know, I mean that's totally acceptable, and totally makes sense. Joe Fan 84 says I've really got time with my mom today. Stupid work. Well, unfortunately, as moms will tell you, and dads as well, the baby bird's got to fly, and that included you at one point, right, Joe Fan? Just like it's going to include you with your son, the baby bird's got to fly. They got to take off out of the nest, and unfortunately, we don't get to control our work days, right? We don't, not always. And we don't get to control all the holidays that we'd love to be able to spend. And I'm sure many of us have spent holidays at work while the family is doing Thanksgiving or the family's doing Christmas Eve, right? Those kinds of things. And that shit sucks, man. But, it's what it's part of life, right? But yeah, the baby bird's got to fly. And that's how it goes. Let's see here. Stanley says, we chatted with my mom for a while. I'll be over there in 2 weeks with a long weekend to clean out her garage. Awesome. That's great. Spend some great time. Stanley and you guys in the chat, most of you guys are probably about my age. You're around 50, right? I'm guessing you're around 50 years old. And, moms at this point in time are in their 70s, probably late 70s, mid to late 70s. And so anything you can do to help out, cleaning a garage, whatever, probably goes a lot further than you probably think it does. Turk says, I don't have my mama no more. Cancer got her. And I hate to hear that. Hold your mamas close, fellas. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, cancer fucking sucks. It does. It runs in my family. It does. We have not had the proverbial cancer scare in a while, but yeah, it is in the family. Giraffe's here. He says top 3 TV moms: Samantha Stevens, Bewitched; Shirley Partridge. Okay, Partridge Family. Oh, Gloria Delgado Pritchett. Well, I think we all know that mom. And he also says special shout out to Blanche Devereaux, Golden Girls. I like it. Love the list, man. Keep those there. I'll try to star that and make sure I don't forget in case you're not here in a little while. Let's see here. And yeah, Stanley says my mom is on a low dose cancer treatment but still has cancer. And hey guys, yeah, T's and P's, man. And hopefully that's that will work out, and you get as much time as you can. That's for sure. Much time as you can. Let's see here. What is going on too? Cypher 6-3. Hey, you guys know that sound. That is Legend of Zelda. Let's see here. Oh. Well, speaking of kids, there's my son texting me. He knows I stream on Sunday nights. Okay. Good evening, all. This is Billy Butch. Okay, Billy Butch. Change my username. Rockin' fucking roll. Cypher 6-3. It's Billy Butch. Love it, man. Good shit, man. Hope you hang out for a little while and little Sunday night hangout. Stanley also says mom had lunch with my brothers and family. They're about 1 mile apart, whereas I'm about 3 hours away. And that's the part that sucks, right? If you are far from the family, it's tough. But if you can get back, and like you said earlier, gonna be able to go spend some time. So that's good. Cooking with Eric, otherwise known as Eric Thurman. What's up, cooking with Eric? How you doing, man? 3-star. There he is. 3-star draw is in the house. And Mamu Nestor is also here. What's up? What's up? What's up? Taking action. And you guys give Matthew some suggestions in the chat. I'm sure you already have, as I'm trying to get through this chat, these comments. Give Matthew some suggestions of what figures he's going to take on vacation to Arizona. I recommended Conan. I recommended fantasy figures. So take the fantasy figures with you. Do some fantasy shots, the night sky, that kind of thing would be a lot of fun. So you guys give Matthew some recommendations of who he should take on vacation to Arizona, which we'll all get some good photos out of that. 3-star says, went to visit my mom at the cemetery yesterday, as you should, and as you always do, because he is a very loyal person and a very loyal son, as I know this firsthand. Yeah, man. And 3-star lost his mom. I say several years ago, but years ago. And it was, yeah, it sucked. It was my aunt. She's a good person. She was cool as shit. And so, yeah, no doubt about it. 3-star. Let's see here as I get down. Just want to miss anybody just in case. HK Viper, how you doing, man? HK, good to see you, brother. I do have a few stories I'm going to get into before we get into the topic, and just to get you guys' take on some of this stuff. One of them I thought was quite interesting, and it's about influencers. And we're going to watch a little bit of Robert Downey Jr. talk about influencers in relation to Hollywood and actors. But I also want to parlay that into an article that I just read probably 2 hours ago or less on my phone about an influencer here in Nashville, and kind of what he did. And I need to look the video up. I'd like to see the video. Probably hasn't been posted yet. So let's see here. Clay Jorgensen, what's going on? Sydney Sweeney is number one. Well, if you're talking about the Euphoria show, but I don't think she's a mom in that. She is a pretend mom probably in Euphoria. I know she plays a little baby and a dog in Euphoria. And for those of you that have watched the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the OF side of things. All right, let's see here real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Bobby Wall, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Is Lily Munster on your list? No, but man, Lily Munster for the goth folks, Lily Munster on that list. Again, best moms, hottest moms, who knows? We can make both lists. I don't care. Even though I don't think that Wolfman kid of theirs is the son of Herman. We used to do our hair like that too when we were kids. We used to try to make that look for the little Bobby Munster or whatever. Is that what it was? Bobby Munster? I don't know. Joe Fanny4 says my mom was the one who made us clothes, fix the house, clean, fix the broken stuff around the house. She's made doors for our house. Dad was out playing concerts or working at Delta, and yeah, so Dad was a musician, and that's how it goes. For musicians, Frank Doom and you, how you doing, man? Good to see ya. Good to see you, buddy. And then let's hit these up real quick. Turk says, I roofed my mama's house one time for her for Mother's Day, and another I remodeled her bathroom. Damn, dude. I sure miss those Mother's Day projects. And in the moment, you might have been cussing a couple times, right? Maybe not. But in the moment, maybe not. Or maybe. And but now, yeah, I get it. I totally understand. Joe Ara 42, otherwise known as, we're going to call him Joe. What's up, Joe? Good to see you, man. Matthew's mom turns 80 next week. Wow. Yeah, racking him up, dude. Keep on going. Keep on going. Turk, I recommended Butterscotch Snake Eyes. I did recommend Butterscotch Snake Eyes for Matthew. So we'll see if he takes Butterscotch Snake Eyes. All right. Man, you guys banging away. Claire Huxtable, yes. Yes, Billy Butch, Cypher 63, Claire Huxtable, Roseanne Connor, Edith Bunker. We're going to get to it. But I would be remiss, ladies and gentlemen, if I did not introduce the lovely, the talented, the boys in the back, Otis McDonald, and the band. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Otis. You are the man, the myth, and the legend. One day I'll show a picture of Otis. In the meantime, he's just going to be in the background doing his thing. Don't forget about Stifler's mom and Stacy's mom. How could I ever? How could I ever? And Turk says, yeah, I didn't cuss at all, Pop. Nah, it's because you're a good son, right? And like Shane says, I'd trade all my tomorrows for just one more yesterday. Great statement, dude. Great statement. I am extremely fortunate. I will tell you that. I'm extremely fortunate. My mom is in her mid to late 70s and very healthy. So we're very fortunate and hope to have many more Mother's Day. And for those of you that have not, again, day of remembering mom, brought you into this world, could take you out of it, right? 100%, without a doubt. So you guys keep throwing Matthew those suggestions if he has them. And we're going to get into it, man. Let's get into it. All right. Let's see here. Peggy Bundy. Peggy Bundy. No doubt about it. Okay. So, couple stories that I sent myself today. I am going to tell you guys. I'm going to torch you. I'm going to torch you tonight. We are going to look at some of the Met Gala picks from 2026 so you guys can see just how some of these celebrities truly are. And I can't wait to do it because I think you're going to get a kick out of some of these videos, some of these photos. I mean, no doubt about it, you are. But I wanted to start off with a story. And I hate to hear that, Bobby. I definitely hate to hear that. So thoughts and prayers to you, buddy. Most definitely. So filter. I don't know what filter you speak of, Shane. But yeah, man, that's a tough year, Bobby. 100% tough year. The Met Gala. The Met Gala is every year in New York City. It is a gala that's held, a big ball with food and dining, and it's celebrities. And the Met Gala basically is they have a theme every year. They have a theme for the artwork, and it is basically a charity fundraiser, a costume ball, so to speak. And there's always a theme, and the people who show up to it are encouraged to wear a costume. So, I'll take that to the bank all day long, friends. Take it to the bank. It is a celebrity party, Stanley, of the most magnanimous proportions. And when I show you the images, when I show you the videos, when I show you the pictures, you'll see why. You'll see why people have fallen out of love with celebrity and what they stand for. So we're gonna get through a little bit of that. Okay. War Chest is here, says, do they have a food bar? Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, most of them. Well, actually, you know what, War Chest? No, I'm not going to say that because some of them have probably visited that food bar several times, but a lot of them, as you know, do not. They're only there for the small plate and the exposure, but it is pitiful as we say hello to War Chest full of toys. If they don't have wings and mashed potatoes, I'm not going to that gala business. Well, you know these celebrities, they don't eat wings. They don't eat with their hands. You and I, we eat with our fingers. Okay? We eat wings and fried chicken with our fucking fingers. Celebrities don't do that. They cut the chicken off the chicken wings. They cut it off the bone. Even though they might be the size of Hooters wings, they cut it off the fucking bone. Let's not kid ourselves. They don't go all in like we do. They don't get messy like we do. However, the main thing about the Met Gala is it's the costumes. It is a costume ball. They do go into what's called a temple to eat dinner. You can actually hear all about this from Ben Stiller in an interview he did on the Pat McAfee show a couple days ago. He went through the entire thing. He laid it all out, said exactly what they do. They go into a temple that is an Egyptian-themed temple. They eat dinner. There's a costume ball. It is a thing, y'all. It is a thing. And yes, Ozempic is probably the soup du jour. So, but we're gonna go to that here in just a minute. We're gonna go to that in just a minute. All right. But I want to start off with a story about an influencer. And I wanted to get into what Robert Downey Jr. thinks about influencers. Now, you and I probably all have the same idea about what an influencer is. Okay, what is an influencer? And we all probably do not care about what an influencer is because we don't live in that world. We know them. You know them when you see them. Okay? However, we don't most of you, I'm sure, don't watch TikTok, Instagram influencers. You watch videos, you watch toy reviews, you watch pop culture reviews. You probably don't watch influencers who try to get you to buy the latest fashion or wear the latest makeup. Okay, maybe some of you, I don't know, you might be in that category. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I'm not the minister of your feelings, so I don't give a damn what you do. However, the topic was brought up in an interview with Robert Downey Jr., and he had some interesting things to say about influencers compared to Hollywood and some of those differences, I guess. And the only reason I wanted to bring it up was only because the story that I'm going to bring up here momentarily. So give me 1 second. I'm going to set this video up, make sure we're on track. Okay. So, Z-list actors. Yeah, it's banned in my house. Cringe influencers, right? I just don't like the influencers that dance in public, blocking everybody's way. Well, those are also called protesters. Eyes Wide Shut was a documentary until they killed Kubrick and took 30 minutes of the movie out and re-edited it. That makes total sense. Okay. Now, the color, for some reason in this video, and I don't know why, because it's not me, I don't know what happened to it unless I have a setting that somehow changed that I don't think I did. Ambient mode, stable volume, no quality. This shit looks weird, okay? Just so you guys know. But it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I don't know what it is. What's going on with my monitor? But this is Robert Downey Jr., and these are his comments about influencers from an interview he just recently did on a show called The Architecture of Life. All right.
Whereas nowadays people can create celebrity without ever doing much besides rolling a phone on themselves. And I don't look at that as a negative thing. I just look at it as more like the challenge for individuation is being upped, because hopefully the grosser part of our of the youth of, let's just call it America for locality's sake, you know, is going to say, yeah, but that's not my thing. I want to go do something. I'm going to make something. I want to build something. I want to educate myself, and I want to have more inputs. So whatever my output isn't just a self-aggrandizing kind of influencer type thing. When I hear people talk about, oh, the stars of the future are going to be influencers, I go, I don't know what world you're living into, but I think that that is absolute horseshit.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about influencers because I don't get it to a certain level. Now,
Okay. Number one, we have a guy who looks like he's about 70 years old saying that he doesn't get influencers. Well, guess what? Water is wet. Okay? Water is wet. We get that. We understand a guy that's this age, people that are our age even, they don't understand influencers. I do. It's not hard to understand, especially when you break it down. And it's also easy to understand why people gravitate towards people online. So this guy, the host, has a couple soliloquies about like what he thinks about influencers and this and that. But it's getting to Robert Downey's comments that I really want to get to. So let me see if I can get ahead a little bit, and we'll see what Robert Downey has to say about this.
those million people going forward. And
Now this guy's talking about the fact that, oh, well, you know, influencers, they do have 1 million fans. They do have a couple million fans, and that's quite interesting. You know, that you could have that many fans. You could have that many people. He also mentions that people don't have to pay money to be influenced. Okay, so he's now bringing it around in this interview to people being sheep, right? Which they are. Okay, they are as a whole. Okay, but he's talking about, well, people don't have to pay money to be influenced. they do have to pay money to go to the movies. So that's kind of where he's going with this.
Very different questions, and the ability
Yeah.
to do those things are quite different.
Sure. Well, when you're the first of a generation's version of This Is Ours, like my kids know that we didn't have influencers per se. We had Ronald Reagan, who was in politics and on TV and doing whatever General Electric or Westinghouse commercials, and was an actor of some note. But then you have like the first I was listening to someone who had started a podcast when it was still on MySpace, like back in the turn. And there's something about this 2006, 7, 8, 9. There's something about that era that, because we were just in it. And you know how it always feels like 2009 was 10 years ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's 5, or whatever it was. It's like, no. It's actually, we're getting a little longer in the tooth. That was a while ago. This whole phenomenon, that the advent of that. Sometimes it's who is luck, maybe, first in the door to do it. Joe Rogan was doing it before it was cool, and he's kind of got his whole own space.
Okay. So first things first. Yes, Joe Rogan was an early person who was able to parlay having a podcast on Spotify and signing a gigantic contract with Spotify. But I don't think anybody would really consider Joe Rogan an influencer. Would you guys in the chat consider Joe Rogan an influencer? I mean, Joe Rogan has interesting guests on. He also has interesting questions. Even as a matter of fact, you may say Joe Rogan doesn't have interesting questions at all. You know what Joe Rogan does? He lets the guest talk. He lets the guest give themselves rope, okay? And either they hang themselves or they have something interesting to say. That's what Joe Rogan does. He's not an influencer, okay? But being first, Joe Rogan wasn't the first. He just had an interesting format. But he also, guess what a lot of influencers do have? A lot of influencers have charisma. A lot of influencers, Mother Slug, what's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. A lot of influencers have charisma. A lot of influencers have something that make people want to tune in to them. Now, we can all talk about the influencers out there on TikTok and Instagram, even YouTube, the young kids, right? We can talk about the promoters, so to speak. Okay, that are nothing but self-promoters. But I would dare say that celebrities are also nothing but self-promoters. Movie stars are self-promoters. They've unfortunately forgotten how to self-promote in the correct ways, where influencers know how to promote themselves in the right ways. Now, I think when you talk about the word influencer, there's two things that come to mind. You either think about a guy that's like Mr. Beast, okay? Dr. Disrespect, maybe, something like that. Or you talk about an OnlyFans chick. You talk about a chick who, and we see them. I know you guys have them in your shorts too, because I know you watch them. Don't lie like you don't. The chicks that do the whole funny little bits, or they do the clothes changing thing, or they're going out on town, and it's the young girls, and they're on YouTube Shorts, and I know you see them, okay? So is that an influencer? Or is that just somebody that's grinding away? Is that somebody that's an actor? Because many of them are playing parts. It's not really them. They're playing a part, right? Fake fame, fake jobs, right? But we could also say that with actors, they're famous. But when you actually break it down to influencers, if someone has 2 million followers who pay for them to make a living, is that any different than an actor? It's two different types of craft, but is it any different? It's still a job. It's still providing a service for people, no matter how cringe it is. But the bottom line is, if more people found Mr. Beast cringe than they didn't, he wouldn't be as popular. Now, we could also break that down into who target children, right? Children's content, tweens, teenagers, right? That kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, They're providing a service, okay? And there's people that like that service, therefore they will pay for that service, a la a movie star. The difference is, from this interview, we're going to listen to a little bit more. It sounds like Robert Downey is a little butthurt. Little butthurt. Okay?
now. But again, like my now 13-year-old son, Exton, he kind of got caught up in this whole influencer thing.
Okay, number one, he has a 13-year-old son. That's great. His name is Exton. I'm sorry.
And next thing you know, it's like, hey, if you like the way I'm playing this video game, do you want to send me a donation? And really, it becomes a religion.
Yep.
So there's something about the influencers today are almost like the evangelical hucksters of the information age at the
Okay, see, I have a problem with that. Again, I have a problem with that. Because here is old man on the porch yelling at kids to get off his fucking lawn, because this is an accomplished actor. This is someone who brings something to the table. I bring years of training, years of acting. I bring years of making hundreds of millions of dollars. How could you deny me and my talent? But this 19-year-old over here who plays video games that entertains 200,000 people every fucking stream, or 2,000, or 5,000, or 700, or 100. Well, how dare this person claim to be talented as I? I'm an actor. Do you see what I'm saying? As much as I like RDJ, I think this is a little short-sighted, because what the influencers aren't doing, at least most of them, but I also think the word gets blurred. I think the term gets blurred. He's now talking about video game streamers. So he just went from influencers to video game streamers. And there is a difference. There is an absolute difference. Therefore, now he actually doesn't really know what he's talking about. But he is positing an opinion, which most of us would, which I do a lot, and then I come to find out later, I'm like, oh, I had this opinion about something, and I didn't really know everything about it. We all do it. It's okay. It's just that he's coming across as, well, my 13-year-old son's into this kid who plays, this influencer who plays video games, and the guy plays video games, and now he's like, hey guys, give me money. Well, like any service, like going to hear a band, and you tip the band because they're really good, and you're out dancing with your girlfriend, or you're enjoying their music, you buy their album. The video game streamer's doing the same thing. And they're providing something that someone must like enough for them to earn a living doing it. If they didn't earn a living doing it, guess what? They probably ain't going to do it for long. Or you get to my age and you just do this for fun. You don't make money off of it. I don't make money off of this. I do it for fun. I love talking. And I love hanging out with people like you guys. But for someone who does want to make it a career, they will put forth the effort to make it a career and be entertaining. So let me hit you guys' comments up really quickly, just because I don't want to leave you hanging in the lurch. Joe Fan 84 says, Mr. Beast gets on my nerves. Eric Thurman says, never seen Mr. Beast. He is humongous. Absolutely humongous. And Joe Fan says, hey, look, I only know Mr. Beast because of my son. Well, Joe Fan, there was a lot of people growing up who didn't know about records we liked, video games we liked, right? They only knew that because of us or because of their kids, right? It's the same thing. But I understand you blocking a lot of things so your son can't watch. Mr. Beast would probably not be super high on that list, but I haven't watched his content in a really long time, and I haven't watched much of it. Graf says it's okay. He has millions from Disney to sleep on and recover from this shocking revelation about people on the internet. Exactly. That's my point. It's like, oh gosh, this YouTube, this influencer crowd, they're taking money away from us dedicated actors, right? Where does Robert Downey Jr. have Gavin Newsom hands? Man, they do look gigantic, don't they? This freeze frame's not a good one, that's for sure. Let's see here. Don't forget years of drug use. Well, yes, that's true. Uh, and if that quote is in fact true, well, those are actors. That's their job to fake things well, right? Unfortunately, you don't want to hear those words from a chick. Let's see. We didn't have internet, so a lot of us did drugs, says Eric. Yeah, no, it's no, I get it. I don't know what you're talking about. And Mother Slug says that's Hollywood's actors went wrong. They all should have never posted anything online when they were hidden more private than they were good. Opening up, showing you who they really are was a flaw. Yeah, exactly. And Matthew and I talk about that all the time. We talk about that all the time. Most actors have a high school level education, especially the ones that move to Hollywood. They are extremely uneducated, and they are told what to do 24 hours a day, and that's what they do, and that's how they make their living. Right? And it does look like he's wearing a Mother's Day outfit, doesn't it?
Same token, it's different because we're playing in this new territory. And so it's a little bit of a frontier, and I don't really have a judgment on it. I also know when I'm promoting a film now, I've gotten to know a few of these influencers, and I find them, many of them, grounded, interesting,
Thoughtful, yeah.
accomplished, cool people. And then you have, all the associated jive that's
Yep.
always around.
But so the reason I just wanted to bring this up is because it's short-sighted, but if you do watch this entire video, he does bring up some interesting comments. He does bring up some interesting things. But it's the same old, same old. It comes across as, hey, I'm an actor. I've been doing this for years. Why are people not paying attention to me and why are people not coming to see me? Why are they not paying money to come see me? Instead, they're paying money to watch this teenager play video games. Well, Robert, it's called the new generation, and it happens every time. It literally happens every time. Joe Fan, that poster actually, in my mind, I thought about like an NFL poster that had all the teams' helmets on it. And I know it's way off, but you get what I'm saying. It's like there's 32 teams in the NFL. That's what I was thinking. But that's how I feel that Robert Downey feels about this thing. I think it's just like, hey, look, I'm a little perturbed that people aren't going to movies. They don't look up to actors anymore. They look up to these people who have a $100 camera and an $80 microphone in their downstairs, and they're making content, and they're making a living, some of them a very good living, and their expenditures are what? Zero. That's it. However, it does bring me to the reason why I wanted to bring this up. We had an incident in Nashville, Tennessee that happened about a social media influencer. And I'm going to bring this article up from what is locally called News Channel 4. All right. Because we have a lot of new restaurants in Nashville, because we have a lot of action going on, because we have all the music, because we have Broadway, because people feel like they can come down here from all over the fucking world and act like a fucking idiot on Broadway and cause trouble and talk shit and get away with it. Social media influencer arrested after allegedly refusing to pay nearly $400 worth of food at Nashville restaurant. All right. Social media personality Dalton Etherly, and we'll look him up here in a second, also known as Chud the Builder. Okay. Was arrested on Saturday, May 9th, after he reportedly bought nearly $400 worth of food at Bob's Steak and Chop and didn't pay for it, according to the arrest affidavit. According to the affidavit, Etherly, who films content, including racially charged content on Broadway, was asked by the restaurant that he does not live stream or be disrupted for dining service. After ordering 2 full entrees, drinks, and appetizers totaling $371.55, the restaurant realized he had been live streaming and asked him to stop. And I'm sure they were very considerate about it. I have no doubt about it, because, folks, if you order 2 full entrees, drinks, and appetizers for almost $400, that's an expensive restaurant, and they're probably very respectful, and they probably know how to handle their business. Okay? Let's not kid ourselves. According to the affidavit, Etherly became disruptive and started making racial statements, yelling, screaming, and creating a scene. Etherly then repeatedly, whatever, made statements of not paying for his food, which he consumed during his time at the restaurant. The affidavit said Etherly intended to deprive, withhold, and otherwise refuse to make payment for the meal he had consumed. He was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and theft of services, and booked on a bond totaling $5,000. This makes me happy. This makes me happy because, folks, I work in the restaurant industry. I work for a very good place. I have seen influencers come in. Just recently, saw influencers come in. They get treated like kings. Even when there's other guests around, they will get waited on, even though there are no waiters at the establishment. It's fast casual dining. They will get hundreds of dollars of food for free. Maybe tens of dollars of drinks for free, whatever you want to call it. $100 drinks for free. They will get treated as if they are the most important people in the building and not pay for a thing. Usually do not tip anyone at all. And then they leave and they make their content. And I've looked some of these people up before. And I've looked at how many followers they have. And you would absolutely laugh sometimes when you look up someone who was a former cast member on the Real Housewives of wherever, who has 40,000 followers on Instagram or X. How many of those 40,000 followers are going to come to the restaurant when they live all over the country, maybe all over the world, and provide you with enough income for your restaurant to make it even worth giving these people free food, free drinks, waiting on them hand and foot, treating them as if they are crazy special. Now, why do people do it? I get it. Why do restaurants do it? I get it. It's exposure. And nowadays, everybody feels like any kind of exposure is great exposure, right? That's not the way to look at things, but that's the way a lot of people look at things. That's the way a lot of businesses look at things. Because a lot of people have full confidence in their product so that even if it comes across as bad press is good press, they can overcome that. That's how a lot of people think. They're very arrogant. That even if this person has a bad time, well, we can overcome that. Because we know what we do. We know what we bring. We can overcome the bad press. And if they give us good press, well, then we can share that with everybody and say, oh, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Nut Butter, who has an X account. You know what I mean? Mr. Fliffle-Floffle. He does food reviews. You know Mr. Fliffle-Floffle, right? He pairs up with Mr. Nut Butter and does all those food reviews on TikTok and X, right? You know those guys, man. They're just fucking hilarious. So I see it a lot. And it's rarely ever worth it. So I saw this story. This is the bad influencer. Okay? When Robert Downey Jr. is talking about video game guys, he's talking about like social media influencers. Again, we all get the picture in our head. We all know what he's talking about. This is the bad influencer. Okay, this is the kind that we hate. Okay, and I want to look up Dalton Etherly, and I want to see Chud the Builder. Let's take a look, see if we can find Chud the Builder. Because one thing I do appreciate from the article is that they do not sit there and tell you who Chud the Builder is and what platform he is. They give you his name, and that's great. That's the press, right? They do not give you his platform. So we're going to go on X, and I'm going to look up Chud the Builder. I want to know who Chud the Builder is. Speaking of which, is Chud the Builder... Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm getting okay. I'm getting an idea. So, here is one of Chud the Builder's streams. Let's see here. Here's one of Chud the Builder's X streams. Let's go to full screen. And let's see. Actually, it says Chud the Builder just maced a guy after getting his hat smacked off his head during a heated argument. So here's Chud the Builder. Let's find out what he's all about.
You heard me, nigga. Fuck your shit. Yeah. Yo. He got Fendi glasses on. You ain't got shit. You got lens crafters.
Well, I'm not going to play that anymore. Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly. So you could understand why no one wants this guy. You can understand why nobody wants this guy around. You can understand why a dining establishment, after being told that an influencer is coming into their building to rate their food, this guy wears a cowboy hat, this guy goes to downtown Broadway, this fucking piece of shit gives Nashville a bad name. It's people like this that run around saying shit like that, doing whatever it is he does, okay? Those are people that give fucking cities, towns, platforms a bad name. So there you go. That quick clip, the only clip I've ever seen of this guy, in 5 seconds or less, we just found out what this guy is all about. Literally found out what this guy. Yes, the cowboy. This idiot right here. That's what this guy is all about. So when the restaurant, fine dining establishment understands that, like, yeah, we don't really, so hey, could you please not live stream, or could you not take video? If you want to come eat in our establishment, we're not going to turn you away. We're going to allow you to come in. But we know what you do. We know what you do. Please don't live stream. What does he do? He live streams. And then when they call him out, what does he do? He starts saying shit like that. Those are the influencers that give people a bad name. Right? Yeah. No more clips needed. Exactly. That's all. That's, you just literally in 5 seconds, folks, found out everything you need to know about that piece of shit. Now, I'm not going to look up his shit. I don't want to know how many followers he has. I don't care. That's the most press I'd like to give him. And you guys know this is not a big channel. I'm not giving this guy a lot of press. However, those are the influencers I think that the general public looks at and can't stand. Robert Downey Jr. really has no idea what he was talking about when it comes to influencers or podcasters like a Joe Rogan. We know the difference because we live in this world. Robert Downey doesn't live in this world. Robert Downey lives in a make-believe land that you and I will never understand and never become part of. 5 seconds, y'all. 5 seconds. That's a clip. I have no idea what's on that clip. All it says is he knocked a hat off of somebody. And that's what you got. if I told you this guy wasn't an influencer, if I told you that, let's just say I told you this guy was somebody I knew or somebody that you knew, and you played that clip for somebody, it would tell anybody you said that to, it would tell them in 5 seconds everything they needed to know about the person you're talking about. That's crazy. That is getting a bad name. And after this whole thing, I don't know. I don't want to look up how many followers he has, but he probably has a bunch. And there's probably a lot of people that thought that shit was really funny. Those are the bad influencers. Let's take a look here real quick, man. I know you guys are crushing in the chat, man. I apologize. Hey, lick that like button, by the way. That is trademarked by Matthew Madsen, the one and only. Lick that like button. I say tongue bathe it, but it is what it is. I think lick the like is a much better phrase. So you guys lick the like button. Tell a buddy, bring a friend. 100%. All right, let's take a look and see what you guys are saying really quickly. Let's see. Celebrities push politics too hard. I agree 100%. And I think they're getting away from that. Not totally. And as we see the Met Gala here in just a second, because I'm about to bring it up, I'm about to show you guys the video, I'm about to show you guys the pictures. When you see these Met Gala costumes, when you see what these celebrities are saying with their costumes, and we talk about it, you guys are going to understand, yeah, they've pulled back on pushing politics. It doesn't mean they're still not pushing it. They're just doing it in a different way. Let's see here. Mother Slug says, all I know is you're a Hollywood actor. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares what you think. You don't live a blue-collar life. You lost that when you starred in a movie. Yes, and Mother Slug, referring to Robert Downey, is that, are there actors out there who still are based? Are there actors out there who still are in touch that don't live in Hollywood? Yes, there are. There are some, and you can find them. And the reason why you don't know about them, Mother Slug, is because you don't hear from them. And the reason why you don't hear from them is because their political opinions do not match what Hollywood wants them to say, so they say nothing. But I guarantee you they're out there. Guarantee you. And yeah, this Cooking with Eric, you nailed it on the head, right? The N-word guy, evidently, because that's what the hell he did in 5 seconds. Joe Fan 84 says, my sister took me to a Goat restaurant there in Nashville. It was decent. Goat. G-O-A-T. I don't know. Stanley Everhart says, Tennessee School Board Council member calling a student hot at a school board meeting. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the new Nashville. Not at all. Let's see here. Clint Jorgensen says you aren't supposed to film in Disneyland or Walmart anymore for influencers. That doesn't surprise me. I know selfie sticks were banned a while back. You guys could correct me. Maybe you've been to Disney World, Disneyland. You could correct me if I'm wrong about that. But from what I understand, selfie sticks, I believe, were banned a few years ago. Maybe even pre-COVID, actually. The gym influencers are the worst. We all know that. I do like the guys who literally will go up and say something like, turn your camera off. Can you stop hovering around me as I'm working out because you're trying to take my machine? Or can you stop recording me and making it look like I'm checking you out? And I mean, look, we're guys. So here's the new yoga pant. Here's the new workout pants, right? You guys know these pants. You know what I'm talking about as we say hello to Evil Dookie. What's up, Evil Dookie? You guys know it used to be you go to the gym. Yes, girls will wear the workout pants. Yes, they look good. Okay, especially girls that are fit. They're in there working out, man. You're in there working out, or you're with your girlfriend, and first thing you want to do when you get done working out is go home and peel them pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. I get it. Been there, done that. My point is now the new pants have the line up the crack. So the new pants have the line up the crack, which then it makes sure that you get two giant ass butt cheeks, right? Like the old pants, the old workout pants, the old Lycra, okay? They were form-fitting. Yes, they snap shit into place, all that. We all know them games. The new pants, though, because you see it on your shorts, you see it on your Instagram Reels, you see it on your X, you see it on whatever you look at, they now have the seam that goes so far up the crack that now you've got literally like they're just painted on. More so than ever before. If a girl comes into a gym or she comes into my job wearing those pants, I'm sorry, fellas. I'm a man and I ain't gay. I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be looking because guess what? You don't wear pants like that. You don't wear workout pants like that with the seam up the middle, riding all the way like you can't even find the seam no more. It's gone. The seam is gone. And you know what I'm talking about. Can't find the seam no more. Yeah, I'm going to look. And if I was at the gym and I was working out and there's 3, 4, 7, 8 girls around working out like that, yeah, I'm sorry. My eyes are going to wander. W-A-N-D-E-R. W-O-N-D-E-R too. Okay, let's see. Graf says we need to start a Motu Gym influencer channel. Got to get swole. Yeah, as the He-Man influencer, not the Prince Adam. Clint Jorgensen's influencers moved into my in-laws' neighborhood. $2.1 million house. They just lift all day. I believe it. That is not uncommon. You see it all the freaking time. All the time. It's crazy. Could we buy an Motu house and live in it and all of us work out and get swole at 50 years old? I guess we could. That would be quite the experience, y'all. The one request I'd have is you got to clean up your bathroom. Clean up your damn bathroom. Billy Butch, otherwise known as Cypher63, let's get used to that, says, what an ass. Exactly. The guy with the cowboy hat, what an ass. Clint says, yeah, this other guy built a 10K square foot building for his toys by us. Have to sign an NDA to go in. That's wild. Wild. Cresto Crow's here. What's up, Crow? Says, I heard piece of shit. That's my bat signal. I'm here. Well, you know I wasn't talking about you, brother. That's for sure. 100%. Yeah, and 3 Star says, I think I know an equal piece of shit he could team up with. I think I do too. It's who I'm thinking about. And 3 Star's already off to bed. I know it's been a minute since I got to his chat, but yeah, no doubt about it. Let's see here. Yeah, he'll be holding somebody's pocket, don't you worry. I hope so. And then if he is, he can use that shit in jail. Which actually, I ain't gonna lie, they all use it in jail. That's the language in jail. It just is what it is. So, and Cooking with Eric says, former Kick streamer, he got a permanent ban. Good. He should. Lunchbox Killer, what's going on? Man, Lunchbox Killer's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Stanley says, yoga pants, soccer mom, mobile Trader Joe's shopping, waiting for the mailman. Yeah, all of that. And we do all love cake, my friend. Dude, I love them. I love them pants. I ain't gonna lie, though. If I was at a gym and somebody called me out for looking, yeah, I'm looking. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what you're wearing. Mother Slug says influencers are like a cult. What's fun about a cult? Does anybody remember Jim Jones? Yeah, drink the Kool-Aid, bitches. Cypher63 says, yeah, Disney just put out the kibosh on influencers in California. Florida's next because they detract from the experience and infringing on people's rights not to be filmed. That's the big part. I think that's the big part. And that's kind of what I was, bringing up about it. From the influencer part is that we do see a lot of them who are filming people, and a lot of those people probably don't get things to sign, right? They don't get things to sign. And so you're just being filmed, right? And as Eric says, everyone looks at everybody at the gym. And I agree. I think everybody does look at everybody at the gym. It's just human nature, dude. You're guys. They're girls. They're girls. Guys and girls, right? It is life. But you have the people, and let's just say it, it's always women. It's never men that try to make a video out of it and try to get sympathy or try to use that in some shape, form, or fashion. It's always the women that are in the gym that try to use those videos to their advantage for some reason. God knows why, other than to further this creepy guy's looking at me meta when you have pants that run right up into your ass crack. I mean, all them girls in the gym got 10 toes. And then 2 more. Eric also says, I've got all kinds of drama at my gym right now. Laugh out loud. Hey, you know, it doesn't surprise me. It's been a while since I've been to a gym. And the thing of it is, I'm not like I could not go to a gym. I've got your proverbial beer belly, got the big beer belly, but I've always been a pretty skinny, thin guy. Okay, so going to a gym for me, and we all have different levels. We're all in different places in our life and where we're at. For me, going to a gym, it would be more about, number one, my age. Number two, just the amount or what I could do in the gym, which would make me feel more uncomfortable being there. That would be my hang up. But it damn sure wouldn't be about all the chicks in there, because I ain't gonna lie. You know, as I'm on the treadmill or I'm trying to use a fucking elliptical, yeah, my eyes are wandering. W-A-N-D-E-R, W-O-N-D-E-R. Mother sucks says I'm 100% male. I only think of 3 things always: loud cars, guns, and hot women. God bless America, son. God bless America. And I can't agree more, my friend. I mean, come on with it, right? Ain't nothing wrong with all 3 of those things, my friend. That's for sure. Okay. So anyway, I want to bring that up just for a minute, just to talk about the influencer and the misnomer about what they are. Hollywood is scared to death of YouTube. They're scared to death of influencers. They're scared to death of Instagram and X. They're scared to death that anybody other than them can control the populace's attention. And that's how narcissistic they are. Even so much so that when Robert Downey Jr. acknowledges the fact that influencers or what he mislabels as influencers, even when he recognizes that there's something to it, you can still see the distaste. You can still see it on his face, right? Easily see the distaste on his face and hear it in his voice. But he's also kind of speaking out of turn. All right, let's take a look at some, yeah, right? Ride a Harley, and I'm with Eric. Who can afford a Harley? Hell, who can afford a damn car right now? You know what I mean? Good God almighty. All right, you guys are awesome. Let's move on to the Met Gala, shall we? Let's take a look at the Met Gala, and let's just kind of see some of the ridiculousness, I guess. Good God, that shit is loud. Come on, man. I mean, it's out of control. Out of control. Okay, thank you. Hello. All right. Let me cue up a couple of these images for you guys. And I want you to guess who the celebrity is. I want you to guess who the celebrity is. Who is this celebrity right here, folks, at the Met Gala? Who might this celebrity be? Because everybody wants to wear a fencing mask to a very expensive costume ball. Ooh, Evil Dookie. Good call. It's Katy Perry. Look, y'all, Katy Perry. It's Miss Cobra Commander, says Carlos, and you should win a prize, my friend. You should win a prize. Let's see who else we've got here on the list. As we see some, somewhat normal outfits, right? That's pretty. This is fine. This is fine, right? Not too crazy. Katie Cobra Commander Perry, fencing flat chester. She used to not be. That's what's crazy about Katy Perry. She used to not be, Stanley. It is the alien that took her place when she was astronauting. Giraffe, I'm going to tell you, I watched one of those videos that has AI. It has the AI voice on it. And whoever made this video, it has like 1.9 thousand views. Okay. And it has the AI voice and it's going through it. And then it's like, and Katy Perry wore the futuristic fencing astronaut outfit which is exactly what she should be wearing because she did go into space. And it was like the most cheesy, awful, fucking scripted bullshit you can imagine. Okay, here we go. Falcor, right? This is the lovely Beyonce. Of course, you see, look in the background here. You do see the trains being carried by the other bridesmaids, so to speak, or whomever they are. Now, I will show you. There's a reason why these ladies are wearing scarves over their eyeballs. But yes, the lovely Beyonce, who is a beautiful woman. She is a beautiful woman. Let's get to. Let's see here. Let's get to. Oh, here's Rihanna. Rihanna. Whatever, you know. Is she always pregnant? Every time I see Rihanna, she's pregnant. Am I wrong about that? Am I missing something? Like every time I say Rihanna, she's super pregnant. It just seems like she's always wearing something like. Yeah, see, look, hold her stomach. I don't know. She's gonna have 8 to 10 kids. Okay, here's the next one. Not quite sure what this futuristic look is, but it's interesting. Let's see here. We have. Oh, here we go. Now this is. Look at this. I mean, isn't this something? Isn't this lovely, folks? Isn't this just lovely? Yeah, it's true. That's true. Carlos kind of was like a fembot, wasn't it? Stanley says, how do they ride in cars and step out wearing any of these things? They don't. They get ready. They get ready, and then they like step out and they get put together. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right. Not too crazy. Not too crazy. Here's something interesting. Let's see here. And again, like this is the flesh-colored whatever this is, I believe. I think it's Kylie Jenner, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Make sure. So some of these, most of these are rather normal. Let me show you guys the opposite side of the normal category, okay? Let me show you guys the opposite end of that and some of the really wacky shit that was out there. Okay. See if I can get okay, here we go. You guys will appreciate this. It's quite unbelievable that people dress up. Now look, again, it's a costume contest. It's a costume ball. I get it. Here we go. Heidi Klum. Quite scary, actually, for one Heidi Klum. But, I mean, I prefer her in her natural look. But, hey, you know, this is what she chooses to look like these days. That's okay. We have, let's see here. Oh, yeah, this is the one. Jordan Roth. I'm not sure who the fuck Jordan Roth is, whoever this guy is. This is a guy. Whoever this guy is, this was for the Met Gala, Evil Dookie. This was, last weekend, I believe. And it's to raise money for charity. It's a costume ball. There's always a theme in New York City, and everybody shows up to it, and they have these wacky, weird-ass costumes on. Let's see. So Jordan Roth, yes, he dressed up and has a person. Okay, this is one of the ones I wanted to bring up. Sarah Paulson, who you may know from American Horror Story and some other shows. She's not A-list famous, B-list famous. She is worth about, I want to say about $40 million. I could be wrong. Sarah Paulson. Let's look up her net worth really quickly. Sarah Paulson is worth, $12 million. Estimated net worth, $12 million. Okay. This is the reason she wore the dollar bill covering her face, covering her eyeballs, was criticism of the 1%. I would like to think you guys know what the 1% is. Her criticism of the 1%, this is why she wore the dollar bill over her eyeballs when she has a net worth of $12 million. But you can't make this shit up. Again, we have Katy Perry here as the... oh, there she... Look at that. Look at that. Don't you look at me. Better close it back up. Janelle Monáe, who's dressed up in Ethernet cables and moss and it looks like printer interfaces. I'm not quite sure exactly. Yeah, cosplaying, exactly. Evil Dookie says her 1% and my 1% is not the same thing. This is real. This is 100% real. This is from the Met Gala. And you see Janelle Monáe, who is actually an attractive woman. She is an attractive woman, and she's a very talented singer, dancer, whatever. But yeah. So then we have someone somewhat normal here, and I want to show you this outfit because this outfit is actually made out of bubbles. Here's Madonna. Here's Madonna. She's wearing a, I don't know what kind of hat on her head. She's holding a French horn of some kind. Then we have whoever this person is. I've never heard of this person before. Okay, this was the dress of the night. A couple people wore these dresses that had hands covering the boobs. Not sure what that was all about, but this was a popular dress. Can you imagine showing up at a costume gown ball or costume ball and someone else is wearing another dress that has fake hands covering your boobs? Can you imagine the horror that you'd feel in that moment? Can you? Those are animated hands, by the way. Here's Gwendolyn Christie. You guys know her from Game of Thrones. At least I'd like to think you do. And if you don't, that's okay, because she also was Captain Phasma in the sequel Star Wars trilogy for Disney's Star Wars. Yes, Gwendolyn Christie. And then we have actually the lovely Beyonce right here. Yeah, what can you say, right? I know, right? It is an alien. Grasps his tentacles instead of hands would have been hot on her. Missed opportunity. Well, they don't think right. They don't think properly. And yeah, Madonna equals Edward what the fuck hands. This was a popular look right here. This isn't Madonna, but this was a popular look. However, the Madonna comment actually does make sense because she is reminiscent of Winona Ryder in Edward Scissorhands or really Beetlejuice actually would be more apropos, right? Okay, so that's some of the some of the interesting ones, but I got some links to some other ones I want to share with y'all. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, we do have trans model Ariana Rose Philippe becomes the first wheelchair user to attend the Met Gala. Ladies and gentlemen, you better rise up and clap. You better stand up and clap. That's right. This lovely model was the first wheelchair user to attend the Met Gala. And as you can see, her costume is a wheelchair. Fascinating. Quite fascinating. Let's see here. Who else? Oh, and I would definitely be remiss if I did not show you video of the one and only Rachel Zegler. That's right, folks. She's doing the meme. Rachel Zegler is doing the meme. The one you all know and love. I don't know what she's doing with her jaw exactly. I'm not sure there, but it is Snow White. She is reliving her Snow White glory. Fascinating. So, yeah. So that gives you an idea of the Met Gala. Kind of gives you an idea of exactly what it is that goes on there. It is quite freaky, y'all. And celebrities. The one percenters, by the way, who then protest the one percenters by wearing dollar bills over their eyeballs, right? Yeah. Evil Dookie, we're on the same page. Weird. Cypher63 says Rachel Zegler is unhinged. Yeah, she's unhinged at this point. Mother Slug also says, I was thinking Madonna looked more like a child catcher from the 60s Chitty Chitty Bang Bang movie. Interesting. Transformers, roll out. You know what I got to say about the Transformers?
Disgusting.
Occasionally, though, they are in
the gayest project Marvel has ever done.
It's true. It's very true. Which also leads me to say,
Stop it. Get some help.
So let's get on to the topic at hand. Let's get on to the TV moms. This is where I'm going to need you guys' help. This is where I'm going to need your help. I need your help because I want you guys to give me suggestions of the best TV moms out there. And what theme would you be speaking of, Carlos? You tell me. Which was the theme of my Instagram post was family ties, if that's what you're talking about. Yes, this is the gayest Marvel movie ever made. Yeah, the theme for the gala. So the theme, I heard Ben Stiller mention it on Pat McAfee. So I will type it in right now. Theme for this year's Met Gala. The theme for this year's Met Gala. Let's read it together, shall we? Just for fun. The theme for the 2026 Met Gala. God, can you guys even read that? It's in widescreen. Let's put it there. We go. Which explores the profound connection. It's called Costume Art. Explores the profound connection between fashion and art by pairing garments from the Costume Institute with artwork from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's collection. The dress code was Fashion is Art. The theme explores the dressed body as a central thread throughout art history, treating the body as a canvas for sculptural, avant-garde, and wearable art. Co-chairs this year, Beyonce, Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour. Held on May 4th, 2026, the exhibition inaugurates the new 12,000 square foot Condé M. Nast Galleries on the first floor of the museum. It was an interesting interview, though. I'm not going to lie to you. It was an interesting interview with Ben Stiller and Pat McAfee because literally Ben Stiller walks them through the entire thing. Then we do this. Then you show up. Then you do this. 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 He said it was the third time he'd ever been. Ben Stiller said it was the third time he'd ever actually been to the Met Gala. And the only reason he even went instead of going to the New York Knicks game for the NBA playoffs was because a really good friend of his invited him and his wife, and they felt they needed to go to support their friend. But he was torn apart by going because he's a huge Knicks fan. And so, yeah. But anyway, all right, so this is where I need you guys to help me out. Could I type in a list of the best TV moms in American TV history? Yeah, I can. But I need you guys to throw out some suggestions out there while I also bring up a document on my other monitor. And we're going to list, all right, we're going to list. Now, we don't have to rank them. Okay, we don't have to rank them. Hey, listen, Evil Dookie, give it up for Jamie Presley. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Presley was a treat, an American treasure. Yes, I can't argue with you there. So we're going to start a new note. We're going to best TV moms. And I'm going to start, we're going to make it a list here. All right. So you guys, you tell me, give me some suggestions on best TV moms. Peg Bundy, gotcha. We're talking of all time, Mother Slug. We're talking all time. Best TV moms. Not the hottest necessarily. Yes, you could throw that in there. But we're talking about TV moms. Who do we remember? The ones you grew up with. The ones you watched on TV. Right? Whether that was, Meredith Baxter Burney, who, look, she is what she is now. We all know that. But Elise, because her name was Elise in the show, was a great TV mom. Very great TV mom. Stanley says Tammy Taylor. Friday Night Lights. So let's put Tammy Taylor on our list. Friday Night Lights. Not to be confused with the Nerderotic channel's Friday Night Tights live stream. Married with Children. So we got Peg Bundy. All right. We got Friday Night Lights. We've got Roseanne, as we all know from the show titled Roseanne. Now, was she a great mom? We'll find out. Audrey Meadows. Audrey Meadows. All right. You guys are cooking with grease now, baby. Otherwise known as the lovely Alice Cramden. So we're going to put Alice Cramden. So that way we don't get her confused. We just need the fictional name. Honeymooners. All right. I'm going to try to keep up with you guys, by the way. I type pretty good. It's one good thing I learned out of high school was being able to type in my computer class. Hope Williams Brady, Days of Our Lives. Wow. Okay. Good poll there, man. Used to watch Days back in the day, if you know what I mean. Days of Our Lives. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep it going. You guys keep it rolling here. I am going to put up Elise. Damn, what was the last name of the Family Ties group? It was Keaton. Elise Keaton. Elise Keaton is one of my favorites from Family Ties. Keaton. If you saw my Instagram post, that was the song that I played, was What Will We Do, Baby? Okay, let's see. Let's keep it going here. We got Peggy Bundy, Lucille Ball. Lucy. All right. I love Lucy. Who didn't love Lucy? Even in reruns as a kid, right? Suzanne Summers, keep them coming. I know you guys know a bunch of them. Suzanne Summers obviously being from Step by Step, right? What was her character name? I will put her down as Suzanne Summers, but I'm trying to remember her character name on the show. I'll look it up if I have to. I have no problem doing that. Let's see. Step by Step. All right. The mom from Malcolm in the Middle. Okay, so there's a couple of them because the show The Middle, if you guys remember The Middle, Patricia Heaton's character, I thought was a fantastic mom. Funny as shit. Frankie Heck. Frankie Heck was a great, funny-ass mom. And you're right, because she mirrored the mom from Malcolm in the Middle. So let's put Malcolm in the Middle, and let's bring up that mom as well. Let's see, Malcolm in the Middle. Mom was Lois Wilkerson. Okay, Lois Wilkerson. Speaking of Lois's, what about Lois from the Family Guy? Anybody thinking about Lois from the Family Guy? All right. Malcolm in the Middle. All right. Who else we got? You guys are firing them up here. Let's see. Three's Company, I think, was more as Chrissy. Yes, but she was in Step by Step. Patricia Heaton, everybody loves Raymond. Yes, it got her. Allie Mills, the Wonder Years mom. Okay, Wonder Years mom. Let's see. Wonder Years mom was Allie Mills. Yes, the character was Norma Arnold. Norma Arnold. She was a cool mom, right? In a very trying time in the 60s, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. The Wonder Years. Okay. All right, let's see. Who else we got? You guys are firing them up. I love this. Claire Huxtable. Come on with it, right? Come on with it. Which makes you wonder, did Felicia Rashad know Bill Cosby was a predator? Did she know? Be curious. I would absolutely be curious. Because there was talk around town. Hollywood. Everybody knows. Edith Bunker. Do you think Edith Bunker? Do you like Edith Bunker? Do you like Endora? Or how about Samantha? Samantha from Bewitched. Because I would go with Samantha over Endora. I'm just saying. All right. Who else do we got, you guys? Aaron Raftery, but we graduated together, so I am biased. Aaron Raftery from what show? What show? I've got to figure this out. I don't know. You got to tell me, Evil Dookie. Who is Aaron Raftery, and what show was she in? Maggie Seaver, Growing Pains. Good one. Good one. All right, so you guys are smoking now, man. I love it. Let's see, Growing Pains. All right, we got things happening here, kids. All right, we got it going. Yeah, Maggie Seaver. Damn. By the way, when I spell Seaver, Google's trying to tell me I'm misspelling it. Well, fuck yourself, Google. How about that? Now, this is the one I was wondering about. Carlos. That's the one I was wondering about. Sofia Vergara. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Otherwise known as, what the hell was her, what was the name of her character? Gloria. Gloria. How could I forget? What a lucky man. What a lucky man. Modern Family. All right. We got 16. We're up to 16. Morticia Addams. Okay. Are you a fan of Morticia Addams? I am curious. How many of you guys are fans of Morticia? She had that goth look I talked about at the top of the stream. She had the goth look, right? Can't argue with that. Sleek and sexy. The long black dress, the long hands, right? But she had her thing, the eyebrows, if you're into that thing, you know, right? All right, let's see here. That 70s show. Now, Lunchbox, are we talking about Kitty? Are you talking about Kitty from that 70s show? Because I gotta be honest with you. Kitty was fun. Kitty was a fun mom. Kitty Foreman from that 70s show. Great mom. She played goofy, as in, like, she acted like she didn't really know what was going on. But Kitty knew what the fuck was going on. She also would drink during the middle of the day. What 70s mom didn't do that? Right? It's right on par. Okay, so that's what I'm trying. Okay, well, I don't know if she was at a show. She just went to your Catholic school. Well, then I'm talking about TV moms. But if you have a personal mom in your history, that's great too. Thelma Harper from Mama's Family. You talking about Mama? Yes. Mama was a crazy, trippy mom. But what a great TV mom, right? What a great TV mom. MASH, Major Margaret, Hot Lips. Wow. Hot Lips? Hot Lips was a mom? I don't remember that. I was not the big MASH fan, to be quite honest with you, growing up. I do have to say, yes, Now, we're starting to get into that hot territory, right? Eva Longoria as a mom on Desperate Housewives, but how many of us really know how she was as a mom in the show, right? How many of us really remember what she was like in the show? I think that's probably the part that's the hardest to determine. Yeah, we could talk about the hot ones, but the reality is, I'm talking about like who's the coolest, who's the awesome moms in TV history, right? She's an actress, Erin. Oh no, I definitely don't mind. Erin Raftery. I tried to look her up a minute ago. I'll give it another shot, man. I'm a fast typer with these magic fingers. You have no idea. Okay, so we'll put Jean Stapleton. You talking about Edith Bunker? All in the Family. We got a pretty good list here. Now, the thing of it is, we got to kind of whittle it down as to who our favorites are. Now, Florida Evans. Florida, that's a name you damn sure don't forget. Right? That's a name you don't forget. And I'll never forget that name for the rest of my life because I used to watch Good Times as a kid, reruns. We all did. If you stayed home in the middle of the day or from school, or maybe that was one of those afternoon shows before your mom got home, because we were all latchkey kids. Most of us were. Florida Evans was a pretty good mom. She was always like, James, JJ, James. Now, James, why you gonna say something like that? What about Wheezy? What about Wheezy? We know Wheezy dynamite. We know Wheezy more as a partner, as a wife, rather, than we do a mom, right? Because Wheezy was not, on the Jeffersons, she didn't act like a mom because most of her interactions really was with George. And occasionally Lionel would come in and fuck up, right? Lionel would fuck around. And Wheezy would kind of have to put him in his place. But Wheezy really put George in his place. So I don't consider Wheezy, Louise Jefferson, to be a great TV mom. She was more of a great TV wife, right? Alice Cramden, actually, we have to kind of take off this list because I don't really remember Alice Cramden. Did they have kids? I don't recall them having kids. They were honeymooners. And on top of that, I don't think they had kids before the show ended. Marge Simpson. There we go. Great call. Because Marge was a mom. Right? Marge was a mom. And so we got to put her on the list. And even though she interacted with Homer, she had a lot of interactions with Bart, right? She had a lot of interactions with the family as a whole. Okay, let's see. So we got a pretty good list here. We got a pretty banging list here. Let's reveal the list. Let me get a couple more things tidied up before I do it, I guess. Okay, let's see. If there's any more, you guys, last call. Throw any out there. If you can think of any, throw them out there. Don't be scared. I think it shows that maybe they had a baby later in the show. You think about Beverly Hills 90210, right? What about Beverly Hills 90210 with the Walshes? Was one of those moms. I know it wasn't Jenny Garth's mom, right? Because she was like a fuck up in that show. But the Walshes were level-headed. Of course they were. Someone earlier said Shirley Partridge, don't miss her. Well, I got to tell you, I would love to have a musical mom like that. You know what I mean? Like as far as we're talking about, fiction, and we're talking about TV shows, but like the music mom, that would be awesome. Now, does Ms. Brady fit into that category? Because that was a very family-oriented show. As Carlos says, I'd say Miss Brady, but Alice did all the heavy lifting. It's true. It is true. Man, I don't know. I'd have to, you know what I mean? Like, just looking it up as far as like the Brady's. You know, Carol was the she was a rock, right? She was a rock, but at the same token, I think Mike was kind of the man, right? Mike Brady really was. This was at a time when I think the father was featured big time. Let's see here. Last call. 4 espresso martinis, blended Cadillac margarita, and 4 mojitos, extra mint, and a Shirley Partridge in a Pear Tree, Eric. Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy's wife and baby mama, right? Did we get June Cleaver? I mean, look, if you ever look up a list of best TV moms, you are going to find June Cleaver in that list without a doubt. I mean, you just are. That's just how it's going to go. She will never, ever escape any list of best TV moms. Now, Sharon Osbourne, you know, great TV mom. I guess in my mind, Billy Butch, what I'm thinking is like the fictional, right? Like I'm thinking the fictional TV mom. I'm thinking the sitcom, the show, you know. I'm not thinking reality necessarily because it's really, she's more of nonfiction in my opinion. So we're going to keep her off the list. But yes, the Cramdens honeymooners in later episodes adopted a baby girl now named Ralphina. How do I not remember that? I may have blocked those episodes out of my mind, Mother Slug. I may have absolutely blocked those episodes out of my mind because at that point, the honeymooners were no longer the honeymooners. They were the baby mooners. And I may have blocked that all out of my head. It's very possible. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. So, let me show you guys the list that I got so far. You guys tell me if I need to edit it. We're gonna whittle it down. Right? We're gonna whittle it down. So let's get this into a good viewing angle. You guys let me know if that's big enough for you guys to read. Let's see. Let's go there. All right, let's see. Let me go back, and then I'm going to pull it up in a easy format. So, there we go. All right. Got it. All right, let's share this. Then you guys let me know, did we forget anybody? Should we add someone to the list? We have Peg Bundy. Peg. It will come back to you. Tammy Taylor from Friday Night Lights. Roseanne from Roseanne. Marge Simpson. We have Hope Williams Brady for Days of Our Lives. Now, that's one that escapes me, but it's been a long time since I watched Days. Okay, long time. But I did get into a period of time there where I was watching Days with some friends. We were watching General Hospital, too. A little back-to-back in the middle of the day because we'd have shit to do. Aaron Grace, Silver Spoons. Yeah. But was she a great TV mom? That's kind of what we're looking for here, right? Elise Keaton, that was my pick. Obviously, Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy. We've got Suzanne Summers from Step by Step. We have Frankie Heck from The Middle. We have Lois Wilkerson from Malcolm in the Middle. We have Norma Arnold, The Wonder Years. Let's see. We have Claire Huxtable from Cosby Show. We have Samantha from Bewitched. We have Maggie Seaver from The Growing Pains. We have June Cleaver down here, but we have Gloria from Modern Family. Morticia Adams. Kitty Foreman from That 70s Show. Mama from Mama's Family. Hot Lips from MASH. That's one that I don't recall. Don't recall her mom instincts, right? Don't recall her being a mom in MASH, right? It's a war show. So that's one that I almost, to be honest with you, could almost take out Hot Lips and put in Lois from the Family Guy. Right? I mean, I don't think I have. I'm almost positive. Now, you know, tough with Family Guy because it's crazy dysfunctional family. But Lois Griffin, you know, Lois tried to be a good mom, right? So let's see here. We are going to edit this. We're going to put in Griffin Guy, Family Guy. All right. Who else you got? See, Hot Lips didn't have a kid. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to figure out, you know, what about Hot Lips? I don't remember her being a mom. And again, I wasn't a big MASH guy. Yes, so many MILFs to pick from. No kidding, dude. I mean, seriously. Of course, back in those days, you know, we looked at them as mother figures. Now that we're in our 50s, of course, we're like, well, yeah. Why not? Okay. Shirley Partridge, Florida Evans from Good Times, Edith Bunker from All in the Family. It's 22. That's 22. 22. Now, it is easy to go and look up a list of great TV moms. And what will happen is, as I looked up earlier, is you will find that when you try to make a list like that, okay, it will bring up shows that you haven't thought about. Because there's always stuff that we haven't watched out there. There's always stuff I haven't watched. So, like Gilmore Girls or Parenthood, for instance. Or let's see, what else? You've got Family Matters, right? This Is Us. One Day at a Time. You know, there's so many out there that we could pick from. But I think it's the ones who are the most memorable. And for our age group, it's going to really fall into those 80s sitcoms for the most part. And I actually really enjoyed Parenthood too, Stanley. I enjoyed that show quite a bit. It was, I watched it. It kind of fell off the map after a few seasons. But, guys, don't forget, that's where Michael B. Jordan got his start, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to say Family Matters, Joe, but thought different. Then you have the pseudo-parent like Mrs. Garrett. Mrs. Garrett from Facts of Life. Or you have cartoons. See, now you have cartoons. You start getting into Wilma Flintstone or Betty Rubble. Maybe you start getting into, you know, the Jetsons. Judy Jetson. Was it Judy? No, Judy. It was, Rosie the Robot. Rosie. It's Rosie. Yes, right. Yeah, kind of a follow-up, but not quite. Carlos says, Mommy Dearest, Shirley MacLaine. Holy cow. Now we started getting into movies and stuff. Michael B. Jordan was in the later seasons on Friday Night Lights before Parenthood. Okay, that's where he got his start. And Betty Rubble, right? We all want some of them Fruity Pebbles, right, Carlos? Got to get them Fruity Pebbles. Fred, where's my Fruity Pebbles? Bon, where's my Fruity Pebbles, Bon? Okay. So, we got a pretty good list. So, we'll whittle it down. Out of this list, we have 23. I did think cartoons from the 70s, 80s were actual moms. Yeah, sure. A lot of those cartoons were primetime shows, lest we forget. The Flintstones, the Jetsons. Those were primetime shows. Those were not Saturday morning cartoons like we remember, or weekday cartoons at 3:30 in the afternoon when you got off the school bus. Those were bona fide primetime shows that people watched. And look, it's okay. This is just an episode of just kicking around, right? Not too serious. You know, you could throw them out there if you want to. There's not a problem with me. It doesn't bother me. Don't mind that at all. But we do have a pretty damn good list here. I'm not gonna lie. Now we could go down a rabbit hole. We could get 50 of them. If we keep going, we could get 50 of them. At least. I mean, we're at 23. We could get 50 if we really try hard, or if we start using Google. We know where that's going to take us. So, we could roll up our list at 23. And if anybody watches the stream tomorrow on replay, feel free to add some in the comments. Leave me who you think your favorite TV moms are. We could always revisit this and say who's the hottest TV moms. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that. Especially at that time, we probably shoot for the sky 150, please. 1, 12, 18, 23 are my top 4. So we're going to say that Billy Butch says, hey, look, Peg Bundy, fun mom. Peg was the reasonable one. But Peg also was just as equally like to dismiss the kids and just be like, whatever. She played dumb, but she wasn't dumb. But yeah, Peg Bundy, pretty cool. So let's see. Billy Butch says 112. So Peg Bundy, Claire Huxtable, great mom. Claire was a good mom on TV. Good mom. 18 with Mama from Mama's Family, which is a fun, sarcastic mom. Right, off the rocker, so to speak, no pun intended, but ultimately was also the head of the family, right? And then 23 being June Cleaver. That's a pretty good list. That's a pretty good list. Cypher 6-3. I like it. Not bad at all. I will definitely give you. Let's see. I'll give you a vote for Peggy. I'll give you a vote for Claire. I'll give you a vote for June. See how many people you guys who gets who voted for him. We have Mama. Right? So 1, 12, 18, 23. So there's your votes right there. Anybody else care to take a stab? Who do you think who should we eliminate? Out of this list, who should we eliminate? Big list. Do we get rid of the Days of Our Lives mom? Do many of us really truly remember the Days of Our Life mom? Can we get rid of Hope Williams Brady? I think so. I do think so. I think that probably we could probably get rid of. So we're just gonna put a big old just big straight line out here. Hot Lips, she's gone. Hot Lips. Yeah, Hot Lips has been gone, baby. But that was from MASH. All right, let's see. You could ditch Hope. Yeah, she was a hot. Let's see. Why StreamYard? No, I don't want that. Hot cop with a heart of gold. But hey, Cosby Show is cursed. Well, that's true, to an extent. Yes. Obviously, Bill being the biggest one. I say we could get rid of Edith Bunker. I think Edith Bunker was very non-committal. I think Edith was the only thing she ever did was just say, "Oh, Arch. Oh, Arch. Don't say that, Arch." But she was really a nothing burger, right? Like, she was a nothing burger. Mother Slug says 3. So we got to vote for Roseanne. We've got 7, 8. We got I Love Lucy. Not bad. We've got right below her, Suzanne Summers. Not bad. And we've got Malcolm in the Middle mom, Lois. Fun. What I will tell you guys is do not watch the new Malcolm in the Middle reboot. It is brutal. And I mean brutal. They go all in on the non-binary kids and the not relating to their parents, and it's like, yeah, no, that is not a very high percentage of people in this world. And yet they make it like it's just this totally normal thing in households, and it's it's just weird, but there's other shit in it too. And not a big fan of it. Okay. Let's see here. Other slide. All right. So we got two. All right. Wonder Years mom. Let's dump Gloria from Modern. Has money. Okay, let's see. We kind of bounced out there for a second. My apologies, guy. Yeah, it froze. I don't know why. This time of night, internet does weird things sometimes. Just bounces out for like 5 seconds. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get back up. Yeah, the lag is real sometimes. Okay, so let me finish this. 19, Lois Griffin. Then we have Edith Bunker. We have Florida Evans and Shirley Partridge. Not a bad list, Cypher. Not a bad list. Not a bad list at all. Stanley's top 4 would be Friday Night Tights, or Lights Mom. Although I encourage you guys to watch Friday Night Tights on the Nerdrotic channel on Fridays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. Good show. Good live stream. They cut up. Marge Simpson, says Stanley. Going for Marge. Number 10 would be, another vote. Another vote for our Malcolm in the Middle mom. Then we have, let's see, a vote again for the Wonder Years mom. And then Stanley finally says number 17, Kitty Foreman. Kitty was a fun mom. Let's not kid ourselves. Kitty was pretty fucking cool, right? Giraffe's tossing his hat in the ring here. He says 3, 12, 14. Let's go Roseanne. Another vote for Roseanne. All right. Number 12, we're going with another Claire Huxtable. I got to be honest with you, Claire was fire. I liked Claire back in the day. I love when they performed the Ray Charles song on the steps. Claire was right there. Claire's a supportive mom. She loves her kids. Her husband's a goofball dentist. But she's right there. And she was a lawyer in the show. Very successful. Very successful. And 14, Maggie Seaver. Maggie Seaver's a good mom. Maggie Seaver was a good freaking mom, right? Like, let's not kid ourselves. As a matter of fact, let's give you guys a good picture to remember Miss Maggie Seaver by, shall we? Look at this. There's Maggie. What a great lady. Happy 73rd birthday back on February 12th of this year. 73. That's the kind of shit you don't want to hear about, because that's the kind of shit that makes you think about your own age. Because you're like, I looked up to her. She was a TV mom for me. And I was her 9-year-old or 12-year-old, I guess, by then. And then you're like, oh, no, she's 73. That must mean I'm not a fun feeling. Grass says she loved her kids. She worked so I could be a latchkey kid still. Freedom. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio in Growing Pains. I do remember that. And if you ever watched any of those VH1 shows that would do those like pop-up video or any of that shit, right? They'd do the TV stuff. They'd have the comedians come in and comment, right? Like, what kind of character's in a show called Growing Pains and his name is Boner? Get it? Boner, Growing Pains. That's pretty good shit. All right, come on, man. Like, that's pretty good shit. You can't fuck around with that. That's pretty good shit. All right. I couldn't help myself. Damn. Anyway. All right. So look. We got a pretty good list. We got a pretty good list here. We're trying to whittle it down. Cliff says, or Cypher60 says, Cliff was a predation. Claire is going to be the runaway winner. You might be right because I haven't put my votes in yet either. Let's see, Mother Slug. Let's see, Funhouse. He was on as well. You talking about Leo? And another pun, or meme, or video. Boner was actually the real life son of Chekhov from Star Trek. I did not know that actually. So you just dropped some knowledge on me. Okay. I love it. Cypher63 says pediatrician. Was that, yeah, Cliff was a pediatrician and not a predation, although he was a predator. So he was a pediatrician and a predator. I couldn't remember. I thought he was a dentist for some reason, but you're right. He was a pediatrician and a predator, as we've come to know. And love, not really. Not love, just come to know. Boner is a better name than Cockroach. Holy shit. Oh my God. This list, so it's Mother's Day, so I'm like, hey, let's do this list. You know what another fun list would be? The sidekick list from all these shows, from TV sitcoms. The sidekick list. As in the boners and the cockroaches and all that kind of stuff. Which we've all lived with and had in our lives. We don't deny it. Todd C., what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. Oh, my God, that was fucking fantastic. Yeah, that would be a good list, too. A really good list would be the sidekick with the funny name or the stupid, goofy name. Not bad. Todd, how you doing, man? Will says, Skip from Family Ties, douche sidekick. Yes. Or what about Tom Hanks's character? Now, this isn't really the sidekick, but you guys remember Tom Hanks's character from Family Ties? He's the drunk uncle, Uncle something or other, and he's like a fucking drunk. And Alex looks up to him. He thinks he's so cool, and then he gets his heart broken because he realizes his uncle is a fucking drunk ass, and is drunkle. And I'll never forget that episode because I too experienced that. Vinny Del Pino. Holy fuck. Wow. Great call, dude. I mean, let's see if I can find any others. I would love to look up great sidekicks, right? I mean, you know, the fact that Doogie Howser, you know, and that show, I mean, you know, 89, that's high school years for me. So 89 to 93, that show aired for 4 years, and that was my high school years, 89 to 93, no doubt about it. Yes, to your mothers with love, no doubt about it. Bosom Buddies, as a kid growing up, I loved Bosom Buddies, the show, and I'll tell you why I loved it. Because the theme song to Bosom Buddies, do you guys remember the theme song to Bosom Buddies? If you remember the theme song to Bosom Buddies, then you know what's up. You are right there. Bosom Buddies had a great theme song, a famous theme song, and a big, huge hit. Yes, Will, that's right. It was Billy Joel. It was My Life by Billy Joel. And I'll never forget me and my best friend watching that show come on, and we loved the theme song, and we used to run around singing the theme song. I can remember this until the episode started. We loved Bosom Buddies. Early Tom Hanks, right? You know, I don't know. As far as season 3, did they change it in season 3? Not sure. Did they change it in season 3? You really want to make me look this shit up. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Bosom Buddies theme song change. You may be right. Yeah, My Life as its opening from 80 to 82 was replaced in all later syndication. And yes, it was Try to Shake Me Loose, sung by Stephanie Mills. That's right. Wow. I can only imagine trying to license out my life in syndication. I mean, Billy Joel would have absolutely made a killing, at least at that time. Now, you don't see bosom buddies that much anymore, but there was a time. The most savage sidekick would be Steve Urkel, who steamrolled his way to being the star of Family Matters. That's without a doubt. Without a doubt, there are a few shows in the history of television where you had a co-star slash sidekick, whatever, that literally the show became about that person. And that is definitely not intended that way, definitely ended up that way, because you remember, then they started doing episodes, very many episodes that were Steve centric, right? About his alternate personality. So yeah, that's definitely, that would be an interesting topic too, right? How many TV shows were taken over by sidekicks? My cell phone ringtone has been Friday Night Lights intro since 2009. Damn. Well, my cell phone ringtone is a song called Head by Prince from the Dirty Mind record. Mother Selections My Life was good, but Cheers takes the cake on songs. That's a great one. I would love to name that TV theme stream one night, if you guys would be into that, where I'd play maybe like just a couple seconds and see if you guys can guess the theme song, because obviously YouTube would copyright the shit out of us. Excuse me. Unless we play like maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds of it and see if you guys can guess it. That would be a fun stream. I think you guys would actually enjoy that. I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Can you name that tune? I have all those theme songs, by the way. I've got them all downloaded. It's crazy. Let's see. Got me watching the Bosom Buddies theme song on YouTube. Hell yeah. That's what I love, Graph, about that, though, right? Like shit like this, where you're like, oh, fuck, yeah, I want to go back and watch an episode of Growing Pains. Or I want to go back and watch Family Ties because I listened to the theme song. Because I listened to it earlier. And I was like, that's good shit. So, yeah, hopefully that's what this makes you want to do. That's what I like videos. That's what I like streams or certain parts of streams to make me do, is think about something else that I want to go back and like watch or check out. Don't worry, we haven't lost our best moms list. Full House was like that. Yeah, 100%. Cousin Oliver, little prick. Yes. Will, exactly. Good pull. Yeah, I mean it's but the theme song stream I think would be a blast. I think that would be an absolute blast to go through and play a couple seconds, so YouTube can't crush us on it, and we can still play name that tune. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do. So let's see here. I want to make sure. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we got our list. We got some votes here. Peg Bundy, she's got 1. Friday Night Lights actress has 2. Tammy Taylor, which, that was a big show. I ain't gonna lie. Roseanne has a couple. Marge has 1. We kicked out Hope Williams Brady from Days of Our Lives. Elise Keaton, because I haven't voted yet. I got to give Elise a vote because I thought Elise was a great mom in the 80s. Very supportive of her husband, who was he an architect, I think, and was always like, complaining about the job and this and that. She had a highly Republican son who was all about Reagan and Reaganomics, and she had to balance that with Mallory. There's some good shit there. Yeah, definitely trivia night. That'd be a lot of fun. I think that'd be a blast. When I heard the MASH theme, I knew it was time for bed. Will, let me tell you something. It's so funny you bring that up. As a kid, do you guys remember this? Obviously, we had a bedtime that was probably around the same time for most of us. Give or take an hour here or there. Okay. I always remember going to bed and it being around bedtime. The time that Hee Haw came on. Hee Haw would come on. and I knew it was time for bed because Hee Haw also was very boring to me. But Hee Haw, that opening, MASH is also another theme song I hear, and it makes me tired. To this day, it makes me tired. And I had to play that theme song in concert band, jazz band, actually, 7th grade. On the drums, mind you. I had to play the drum part to it on top of that. Airwolf is great. Yep, Airwolf is great. A-Team, right? Magnum P.I. theme song. I'm telling you guys, I have them all. I have them all. We'll play a trivia night. We'll do a trivia night one night. Name that tune. Okay, name that tune. We'll do a trivia night and see how many of these theme songs you guys nail. I have a feeling you're going to do really good at it. But I can only play like a couple seconds of each one. 2-3 seconds, maybe. Some of you might not even need that long. You might only need 1 second. You might only need one note. I do that all the time with a lot of songs that I play drums to or know. I can name that tune in like one note. I can get the very beginning of it, the first note, or the bass line, like 2 notes, shit like that. But TV theme songs would be a lot of fun. Yeah, just let it play, baby. Let the music play, as Shannon once said in the early 80s. Stanley Everhart Jr. III says, Friday Night Lights may not have had the ratings, but the fan base is loyal with heavy word of mouth in its DVD era. No, it was a popular show. People loved it. People loved that show, without a doubt. So I put a vote in for Elise Keaton. I got to put a vote in for Claire Huxtable, folks. I got to put a vote in for Claire. Fantastic. June Cleaver, yeah, all-American mom from the 50s, right? I mean, makes sense of a time. Man, I think Kitty Foreman would have been what a mom to have. I got to go with Kitty here, too. I got to give Kitty her due. Mother's Looks is my favorite TV theme song is the Wonder Years Joe Cocker. Need a little help from my friends. Yeah, great one. To me, The Wonder Years is by far the best show ever. First episode anyone knows how it opened, started, meaning what happened. Vietnam War? I'm not sure. The chat has probably already smashed this question. Carlos says Roseanne, Claire, Sophia, and Kitty. So I'm going to give your votes, Carlos, to Roseanne. 1 for Roseanne. We're going to give 1 to Claire. Claire again, which I think somebody said earlier. Remind me who said it was Claire in a landslide. Claire is definitely gained it. Now, Sophia, I'm with you. I'm with you on Sophia. She is absolute fire. And I can't argue with that. So that's Gloria from Modern Family. Unfortunately, she doesn't quite have the votes. And then Kitty Foreman. Another vote for Kitty. Can't argue with that. So let's give that vote for 1. Kitty Cat. All right. Let's see. Kind of fucked that up. There we go. All right. Let's see. Cypher63 says Google the lyrics to MASH or listen to the movie version. It's nuts. Yeah. Carlos Bedtime for me was the Benny Hill theme song. Dude, I had to go to bed for Benny Hill because I wasn't allowed to watch it. I'd have to sneak Benny Hill on my little TV that my dad bought for me when him and my mom got divorced. He bought me a little 13-inch TV. It's a black and white TV. And I used to sneak Benny Hill on that thing and turn it way down low. Boots Randolph. Great theme song. But that was bedtime for Carlos. Mother Slug says the first episode of The Wonder Years, Winnie Cooper's older brother dies in Vietnam War. Boom. I knew it was Vietnam War. I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but yes, that's right. Yeah. Definitely. Add a vote to the one and only Peggy Bundy. Boom. All right, we're getting there. It's shaping up. I gotta tell you, right now it's between Kitty Foreman, Roseanne, and Claire Huxtable. You guys. Anybody else? Have you not voted yet? Last call for votes as I'm about to wrap this stream up here in just a couple minutes. Unless you guys got time to hang. If you got time to allow me to run to the little boys' room, I will stream for another hour or so. If you guys just want to chat and shoot the shit, it's up to you. But I do need probably maybe like 3 or 4 minutes, if that's okay. I will put something on. It says only about 6 of us has voted. How many votes? How many votes do we get? Well, I was just say it's like, I 4 or 5 votes, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just if you got 4, everybody's kind of been doing 4. Top 4. Last call for alcohol, also. But yeah, if you guys are game to hang for a little bit, I'll stay on for longer. I don't have to work until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'll be glad to stick around a little while. We can look up some other topics and shoot the shit. But it's up to you guys if you want me to hang. But I will need probably and I'm not quite ready to run out of here in a second. But if you guys can give me about like maybe 3 or 4 minutes to use the bathroom upstairs real quick and grab another water. So it's up to y'all. But we still need to get our votes in though, y'all. If anybody remembers the TV show Tour of Duty, yes, the theme was Paint It Black, absolutely. But it was a cover. And Cypher63 says, add Elise Keaton for me. Elise was a good TV mom. I mean, it's last call. It's right. Let's see. I mean, it's right last call as it's 1:15 here. Yeah, it's 12:12 where I'm at here in the Central Standard Time Zone. Last call for us would be like, 2:30 in the morning in Nashville, Mother Slug. That's kind of how it is here. And yeah, I will. All right, here. Let me pull something up. Let's see if I can pull up a copyright-free bullshit for a second. See if I can find something to play. A YouTube video. I don't want to steal people's content. You know what I mean? But if there's something cool to play, I will find something cool. Some of the Star Wars AI bullshit is pretty rough too. Which, speaking of which, I want to get you guys' opinion on that here in just a second when I get back. I want to know what y'all think about some of this Star Wars AI content that keeps popping up on my feed. Because I think this shit is brutally awful. Like, brutally awful. Some of it is really, really shitty. Let's see here. Oh, actually, I know exactly what to do. This would be pretty wild. See if I can find one of these videos real quick. 60 frames a second. Okay. Throw this on. This would be pretty neat. All right. I'm going to give you guys video from New York City in 1911. It doesn't sound interesting, but it's pretty freaking wild. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. I will talk about Maul Shadow Lord, and then we'll just continue the stream for a while. All right? All right, I gotta tell you, the only reason I put that shit in is because I think it's fascinating. I actually think this shit is fascinating. I have sat and watched videos from like Chicago or Seattle or wherever, and it's like you see fucking people walking across the fucking street, and it's wild, man. Like these people right here riding in this fucking cart. Look at this dude. Look at this black dude riding everybody down the whole family down the road. But there's no lanes in the road. So you see motherfuckers just like almost running into each other. And then a trolley will come down and everybody will split and get the fuck out of the way. Look, you got fucking horses everywhere, motherfuckers turning all over the place. This shit is crazy, dude. And this shit is like up-resed HD footage. You know, they put color to it. And so I know it's probably not the most exciting thing for a little break or whatever, but I find it fascinating, and I have watched a bunch of videos like this from 110 years ago. This is 1911 New York. And also you get to see like the shoes and shit that people wear. Everybody's wearing a hat. Like, can you imagine society nowadays if most people wore hats, fedoras, bowlers, gamblers? You know what I mean? As Will says, simpler times, and I'll look back to the chat just a little bit. But it is fascinating. It really is that like, you know, stuff like this, man, to me is really interesting because we don't get like me actually. Yeah. And if I've never told you guys the reason why I do wear the hat and the name Pop Blender. My grandfather, his nickname was Pop, and he wore fedoras. He had hats, fedoras, and stuff like that. And so when I was thinking up a channel name, and I was like, you know, I like pop culture, and I kind of want to talk about a lot of different things with pop culture and throw it all in a blender and kind of just mix that all up. And sometimes, you know, there's not just a theme every time. But it was also kind of a tribute to my grandfather because he was a really cool dude. And he knew everybody in Nashville. And so it was just a really cool thing. So I just wear the hat as kind of a thing for him. It wasn't, you know, I'm going to wear this hat. It just kind of happened. But anyway, point being is when I look at footage like this, I think it's just really freaking cool, man, to look at how people lived 100. I mean, this is over 110 fucking years ago. And I don't know about you guys, but one thing I've always thought that would be really cool to do is, and I was talking about this with my mom, when me and my sister took my mom out for Mother's Day dinner Friday afternoon. And I was talking about, man, would you want to come back in like 100 years, 500 years to see what society is like in 500 years? Just to see like the advancements. I can imagine that, excuse me, if you know, in let's say 1780 that you came back in 1880, things wouldn't be that much different. Right, you know, you'd have steamboats, or you'd have like rail, or you'd have like, you know, maybe different inventions, things that came along. But for the most part, people still got along in a horse and buggy, traveled by horse. Most things were agricultural, stuff like that. So to me, it's like once you hit the industrial age, up till now, to me, it would be fascinating to come back in, let's say, 100 years from now to see where society has gone to. If you came back 500 years from now, I feel like it would be too shocking. Because 500 years from now, there are no phones, right? There's no cell phones. People do not drive cars 500 years from now. You would imagine that space would be more of a, like, common thing. There's people working in space, maybe mining things. You know, who knows what that means? Almost kind of like what's the show? It's on the tip of my tongue. Point being is that it's 500 years, if you were frozen and came back from 500 years, it would be probably shocking, right? It would be super crazy shocking. But 100 years, you could probably still get on with society if you came back. It might be like Idiocracy, which is one of my favorite movies. It might be like Idiocracy, where in 100 years you come back and people are speaking this weird, stilted, stunted language, like text language now, where people, use abbreviations and words have changed and people are stupid because they're even more stupid now than they ever were before. And so, but 100 years, I think you could still get on with society. You could be unfrozen. You could still figure your way around. 500 years from now, I don't even know if America is going to still be existing. Right? Like, that's a real possibility. Because in terms of empires, in terms of countries, in terms of civilizations, we've seen civilizations come and go. Some are thousands of years old. Some didn't last that long. You could easily see like some things happening. But the bottom line is 500 years from now, I think it would be fascinating to see what society looks like, where it's at. 100 years from now, I think it'd still be cool. And maybe to see your ancestors in the future, like what did your children and maybe their children, what those offspring look like. If you look at a generation, it's roughly every 30 years, 25, 30 years. But if you look at a lifespan generation, it's about every 70, right? So it's just curious to see what would a couple generations look like, 140 years from now. What will society look like? What will technology look like? Right? Will there be cyberpunk type shit out there where people have limbs that actually work, hands, shit they can, shit like that. They replace their eyes with sensors or something that you could see. Yeah, it's crazy to think about, but you can only imagine in 500 years, those are very real possibilities, without a doubt. It's just a cool thing to think about. Shit I think about a lot. It's channels that I watch and stuff like that. I think that stuff's very interesting. I also love video games that delve into those type of things as well. Post-apocalyptic / cyberpunk type stuff. Shit I'm into. Let me get to some of you guys' comments, man. Let's see. I've got these old ass videos up to show. Look, didn't want to bore you guys with that kind of shit, but I do find some of these things, like these guys here driving old cars in HD. Here we go. It's fascinating. It truly is. Let me hit up some of these comments really quick here. Let's see here. Oh, this one is starred. Yes, Cyber 63 Mall Shadow Lord is badass. Very well done. There are things I do like about it. There are things that I have issues with. Some of the things I have issues with Mall Shadow Lord, and if you guys are animation fans, I say go watch Mall Shadow Lord. I think it is fascinating. Excuse me. I think it's a great show. The animation is amazing. I will tell you, however, that there are things about it I do not care for. They keep bringing Darth Vader out to only have him let people escape and shit like that. I think it's stupid. I think they're using him too much. It lessens his powers. It lessens his abilities. So for that, I'm not a fan of Vader showing up at the end of this season. Spoilers. It's like a video game. Okay, whatever. If you've been watching the show, you know it's going to happen. If you haven't been watching the show, then you really don't give a shit. But I do like Maul Shadow Lord. I do like its content. I like what it's doing. Mother Slug says, curious, can classic music be copyrighted like Beethoven? I think Beethoven is public domain. I think it's public domain. I think you can play Beethoven. I think it's public domain. Stanley says, must be color remastered. Yes, these are remastered or added color, as all things that obviously could not be filmed with color back in the day. Hats were a major thing back when you weren't a man unless you had one. Yes, and even as my son likes to tell me, because my son is he loves history to an extent. but he loves the way people dressed in Victorian times. My son loves the way people dressed even during the Great Depression, where people still were wearing suits and hats standing in soup lines. But yes, I love the 40s gangster culture. I'm not a big zoot suit guy, but 20s or 40s zoot suit. But I do love men wearing hats in public. I think is a really cool thing, and it's fucking manly. Crazy it is. Life back in that time must have been truly amazing. Yes, but although they probably didn't think of it in the time frame they were living as amazing, they just, like we do, it's in front of your face, right? You don't have hindsight, you don't have future sight, it's just, this is where we live and this is my life, and like I'm driving this car that has wheels that are fucking 10 inches wide or less, and there's horses in the middle of the fucking street, right? You just live it, right? You experience it in the moment. So it's hard to think of that. Simpler times, 100%. Let's see here. My favorite actor, says Mother Slug, is Buster Keaton, which is famous for his pin hat. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of people that still favor actors from time periods from 100 years ago or 80 years ago, right? Not 100 years, but 80 years ago, 70 years ago, right? 40s, 50s in particular. And then here's a question from Mother Slug also. Question I ask people all the time looking at old film or pictures like this. Do you think life was harder back then than it is today? Think about that for a few. Yes, I do. I think life was definitely harder back then. We could talk about pay. We could talk about, cost of living, all that. It's relative. But to me, life was harder back then because we didn't have the medicines that we have now. The ease of living, the abundance of food, so to speak. Right? Like transportation, things that were shipped, it was different, right? Things took longer. News took longer. So I don't like the way that we're spoon-fed everything today. And I don't mean that from a political view or from any other view, other than things are so much easier today that we get soft, we get lazy, we take the path of least resistance today. I think that is definitely the case. Back then, though, is that, there were hard jobs. There was agriculture. There was, super manual labor. That's what you did. That's what people did. And so you think about people working from home today on a computer, taking phone calls. Those jobs were not available. Now, that's an offshoot of kind of your question is, do you think that life was harder back then? I think it was, just from the simple fact that a common cold could kill you, right? Getting pneumonia, which still can kill you, but in today's world, like, CVS care is prevalent on every block. Like, you can go get medication if you really need to. So life definitely, in my opinion, was harder back then. Riding in a car down 20 miles from where you lived was a lot less comfortable than it is today. Right? Will says, that's a scary thought, but totally possible. I'm trying to think of what that referenced, and I apologize, Will, because it's been a minute. Yeah, in the future, they all look like cyborgs, and then a bunch of Rosie the robots. Rosie the robot, Mr. J. Wait, what? Gas will be $1 million in the future. You could be right. And you will still be waiting on pre-orders at Walmart, that's for sure. 500 years, you say? GTA 9 will be fire. Yes, as long as it takes them to make video games. That's another gripe I have. Good God. It takes way too long to make fucking video games. Way too long and way too much fucking money to make video games now. And then, if they don't do well, if they fail, then the company fucking shuts down. And then you have a company that's made video games for 20 or 30 fucking years shutting down because the company that bought them, the ESG, DEI company that fucking bought them, that forced them to put live service shit into their game, or forced them to put fucking multicultural bullshit into a game that didn't need it, or forced them to put whatever into a game, okay? The people that work on the game know this shit isn't going to work, but they're forced to do it anyway. And then it comes out and everybody fucking hates it. And then you have a studio that's been around for 30 or 40 years that all of a sudden vanishes in front of your very eyes through no fault of their own. Star Citizen will be released. That's good graph. That's a great fucking, for those of you in the know, that's funny as fuck. Star Citizen has been in early access for like a goddamn decade. If Spider-Man Noir swings by in this video, I'm going to lose my mind. This is cool shit, though. You got to admit, it is cool as fuck. Right? It is cool as fuck. Tatsi says, good luck all. Hantavirus has arrived. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. There's medicine for that. Just like syphilis. Graf says, I was hoping it wouldn't get that bad until after Motu movie release. Damn viruses. Don't worry. Look, if we've learned anything, Americans are not shutting the country down at this point. Regardless of what they tell us to do, it ain't happening again. Trust me. Or at least those are my thoughts. It ain't happening again. We ain't standing for it. We ain't going to do it. You can try to arrest people all you want. At that point, conservatives, liberals, and libertarians alike will all be in the fucking streets together saying, yeah, try me. Cypher63 says, I'm fascinated by World War II. I am too. I've always loved World War II stuff, especially the rise and fall of the Third Reich, and I enjoy watching YouTube videos that explore its history. I do too. Always have. Absolutely. Always have. And Stanley says, hey, Liz, part of the problem with back then is that disabilities were yet to be identified and diagnosed. Yeah, that's true, right? Whatever it is, not only disabilities, just from medicinal purposes, from diseases yet to be identified and helped, right? Not just disabilities. I mean, look, we could talk about how the fact that back then they used to take people and they used to just put them in a loony bin, right? They put them in a funny farm. That's what it's called. Funny farm, loony bin. Because no one understood. No one had any idea where things came from. If you read medical diagnoses from that time period for people that have Down syndrome and things of that nature, you would read these papers. And yes, they describe people as how they looked. It might be crude. It might be rude, so to speak, that a lot of people think of today. But that was at the time, that was the language. That was whatever, right? That was the diagnosis. But they didn't understand it. They didn't know where it came from. They didn't understand chromosomes to an extent, right? They didn't understand how things work. And yeah, you're right, Stanley. Like, it's like, yes, not knowing how to diagnose things. And so what do humans do? Well, they just throw people and they lock them up, right? That's what we do. If you don't understand something, well, you must be crazy. Let's throw you in a fucking cell. Right? Nut hut, right? I mean, it's you name it. But that is it, right? I mean, it's misunderstood or not understood at all back then. And so fast forward 100 years, now you have all the research, you have all the blood work, you have all these things that you can look at. But, you think about back in those days, people say, well, were they simpler times? Yeah, they were simpler times because you had less shit to worry about. And what I mean by less shit to worry about is like, what are all the things we fucking worry about today? I mean, if you think about your day, just your daily day, going to work and coming home, whether you have a family or not, single parent or not, whatever. Think about your day and think about all the different decisions and things that you have, all the emails, or all the people you have to deal with, right? Think about all the decisions and then driving home and all the traffic and the amount of the bodies, the number of bodies that exist, going shopping, the number of bodies that exist in that store when you go do those things, let alone having these things, right? Having the cell phone, right? And all that shit. It's like the decisions we have to make on a daily basis now, yeah, we're used to them. Because it's what we do. Can you imagine thrusting all of this shit on somebody from 1911 or 1932? They would absolutely be overwhelmed. Because back then, you probably only had to think about a few things because you did not have a bunch of options. You'd have a TV set. You'd have cable. You have the streaming services. You'd have to think about, the bills that you had, right? It was like, simple things that you had to pay for. That's the way I look at it. I'm not saying it wasn't complicated, but I am saying that, yes, I think it was a lot simpler to an extent. Rosie the Robot isn't from the future as the Flintstones are from the future. Listen to the songs, you'll understand them. Rosie the Robot isn't from the future as the Flintstones are from the future. Listen to the songs. Oh, you're talking about the theme songs. Talking about the theme songs? Maybe I'm wrong. Educate me. Time cop premise. Right. Yeah. I just think it would be fascinating to either go. Can you imagine? Okay, so I mentioned earlier going forward. Can you imagine going backward? Can you imagine the knowledge that you have now and then going backwards in time and taking that knowledge with you backwards in time? Because I think you would feel, in a way, you'd probably obviously be more comfortable because there's some things you just know. Rather than going forward, where if you were frozen and then unthawed or thawed out 200 years from now, you don't know what to expect. Knowing what you know, going backwards, you'd know how to adapt to those things. You'd know how to make things easier, right? If all of a sudden you found yourself waking up in 1922, you would know how to make your life easier just by basic life hacks that we've learned and know of today through the goods and things we use today. In the future, you'd have no clue. You'd absolutely have no clue. Let's see here. Mother Slug says vice versa. You go back to the early 1850s, you would go nuts. Yeah, I think the reason why a lot of people go nuts is because their job would be agriculture. They would be out in the field fucking digging or picking shit. Right? You wouldn't be, you wouldn't have a phone that you could look at every 3 seconds. You wouldn't have a television to watch your sitcoms. You'd be reading books, if you could get books, if you even knew how to read. Right? Even if you knew how to read. School would be in a little chapel somewhere, probably. And you would go and you would learn just a few things, but most of what your schooling would be was learning how to help your family on their farm or their land, and you'd be doing agriculture. And families lived together for decades. Families lived together. They buried their old, they welcomed their young, and they lived in giant compounds or big compounds with each other. The idea that the modern nuclear family, which is always trying to be destroyed in recent times. But the modern, kids leaving the house at 18 years old to make their way is a new phenomenon. It's a relatively new phenomenon in human history. Because for most of human history, the young lived with the old. And it was cyclical. And they took care of each other. The old or the older gave birth, raised the children up from babies. Once the children became younger and old enough to go hunt or go work in the fields, and you did that and you helped your folks, your older folks. And then once those folks were too old to do it, then they rested while you continued that journey. And then as those people passed away, you buried them on your family cemetery, your family plots, on your land. And you continued the cycle. Once the industrial age happened, all of that changed. And then once in the 1900s, early 1900s, it became in fashion, and really in the 40s, 20s, 40s, it became in fashion for the children to leave the coop and fly away and go make a life of their own because of the industrial age, because it opened up so many different avenues for revenue and life and expansion, right? Moving to new cities, different cities. And that's where we are today. Mother Slug says the Flintstones are known as the modern day family, meaning they never age. They're from the future, unlike the Jetsons have already aged and aged more and more every year. Okay. All right. It's interesting. I've never thought of that before, but that's food for thought, man. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Giraff says days would feel longer for sure. Yeah, 100%. They would. Until you got used to them. Until you got used to them. Days would feel longer until you got used to them because your everyday life would follow a natural rhythm that happened for that time period. And so your day would consist of probably sleeping better, right? Sleeping better. You probably would not, you probably would go to bed much earlier. You would wake up earlier. You'd spend more time outdoors. There's a lot. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm fucking wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. And I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But it just seems like you can connect the dots and play detective and get to where you want to get to with that. An uncle and pop back in the 70s told me stories about how they would run away from home in the summer time and would hitchhike to Florida at the age of 11. Yeah, that's not uncommon, right, Mother Slug? I mean, you know, I talked to my mom, you know, her boyfriend. She dated the same guy from 1986 until a couple years ago. He passed away, sadly. But she dated him for many years. She was married when I was a kid and then divorced. And then when she met this gentleman, they dated. They never got married. Both of them were like, but my point being is that, you know, he was in the military and then in the 60s, he got out of the military and he hitchhiked around America in the 60s. Right? Like he literally just was like, yeah, I'm going to go hitchhike and I'm going to drink and hang out, whatever, and do whatever I want to do. And that's what he did. He hitchhiked around the country, and it's interesting. And so, you know, people did that. And Mother Slick says, I'm talking about the 40s. Yeah. I mean, you could probably imagine, too. I mean, look. Shit always happens. Bad things happen. But you could probably also imagine that, you know, at that time frame, I think, you know, okay, people say kids are more educated now. Well, they know more stuff now. Well, you know, informationally, I guess, yes, right? But I would say that children back in the 40s, children back in those days, probably had to grow up faster. And people say, well, kids have to grow up faster now. No, they don't have to grow up faster now. They actually are able to stay in their childhood for longer. But when you were 6 years old living on a farm, you were out doing fucking chores. You're feeding the hogs. You're feeding the cows. You're chopping the fucking grass. You're cutting the grass. You're doing shit. That's growing up. Not finding out about porn on your phone or the latest news about this, that, and whatever from across the world when, you know, as a kid because you have a cell phone. Like, that's not growing up. You know, it's considered growing up now, but growing up then was literally 11-year-olds going that kind of distance. And that wasn't common, okay? Like, let's not act like that was common. But what was common was that 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds and 11-year-olds had chores and they had shit they had to fucking do. I mean, that's just reality. So to me, they grew up, right? They grew up at that age in a way that what we consider growing up now is not. Well, these kids, I mean, they grow up so much faster now. They you know, no, they're able to stay children longer now. Adults are able to stay children. Look at us. Look. You know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this. Look at us. Right? Like, and we're on the back end of it. Like, we didn't grow up with the cell phones, but we all know how to use them now. We know how to use YouTube videos, watch YouTube videos, Instagram shorts, we know how to post, we know how to take pictures, we know how to use filters. We buy toys, right? Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is like, we are given a blank check to really stay as children. It doesn't mean you have responsibilities. Doesn't mean you don't have to pay bills. Doesn't mean you're not married. Doesn't mean you don't have kids or you have family. You got to do this and that. You got to go to church every Sunday, whatever. However, in reality, you know, it does allow us, life today allows us certain options that was not in the cards 100 years ago. Or, in the case of the 40s, 80 years ago. So, I guess that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying good, bad, indifferent, what's wrong with this or that. I'm just saying that, like, I would imagine children back in those days had to grow up faster. You might be fighting in a fucking war. Right? Imagine what soldiers wear now in the army or the armed forces to battle, and imagine what motherfuckers wore in the 1920s. You know what I mean? Like in the teens, you know, the 40s compared to now. And that's on that level. All I'm saying is even from just a growing up part, I think that you had to become an adult at an earlier age. It's just looked at differently now. Right? But the reason why I think you had to grow up at an earlier age or take on responsibilities is because families were still very insular and they worked within the family unit and everybody had a job and everybody had a task. And schooling isn't what we think of as schooling today. Monday through Friday. The hours, right? The buses, all that. Totally different. And I think kids had to grow up back then. They had to help out. They had to go out and shuck corn. You know what I mean? Fucking tobacco. Hang up tobacco. Dry shit out. Dry out jerky. Whatever the fuck it was. That's what 8-year-olds were doing back then. We sure as fuck ain't been doing that shit. And you know I ain't lying about that. That's for damn sure. Yeah, and as Mother Silk says, hey, look, I did that at an early age. Farm work, milking cows. Cyber63 says 25 is the new 18. Yeah, 50 is the new 7 is what Graf says. And I'm more in line with that. You watch how some of these fucking people act these days. Trust me, I see them. I talk to them. I work in the bar business, restaurant business. I see them. You got people that they don't act their age. They act 30 years younger than what they are. 40. I mean, it's crazy. 50 years younger than what they really are. Right? But it's also easier to do that. Yeah, dollies, right? Yeah, there's a shout out to Chad right there. Dollies. They need to clone up some saber-tooths, keep us on our toes. Old school style says Graph. Yeah, look, no, I get it. I mean, I've had conversations like that with people, right? And we all have. We all have had conversations like that. I find funny, but yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's just, that's just not going to happen, and that's not the way things are these days. People are fucking soft these days. I mean, it's a reality. I'm soft. You're soft. People are soft in general. We're fucking soft as fuck. Get out the Neosporin. Get the antiseptic. Where's the rubbing alcohol? Where's the isopropyl alcohol? Got to put it on my little bitty cut that I got on my shin. Oh, my thumb. Oh, shit. I got to put a Band-Aid on it. It's like, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. Mother Slug says, I somehow always make streams really deep. I did it in Chad's stream. Haha, oops. Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing, Mother Slug. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, and not even necessarily making it deep, but here's what I appreciate about what you're saying, is that, like, you know, if you're doing a stream and you're hanging out, you're talking, you have a topic, I'm very good about staying on task. So with Matthew on Tuesday nights, we stay on task. It is what it is. It's an entertainment. It's box office. It's Hollywood, and we stay on those topics. Sunday nights is a different ball game because I may have a game plan and we're okay, and I haven't lost sight of the game plan because I still have all the votes and I still have the list right here to my right. My point being, and let me, this whole thing I've been going, I should have been in full screen the whole time. I've been stuck on this fucking showing these New York City things. Okay. So, and it's great for people listening and to look at me. But there's nothing wrong with like bringing up different topics like that or going deep or hearing somebody's thoughts about stuff like that. That kind of streams I like. You know, do I like the stuff that's polished and people have a thing and it's like, yeah, you know, we're going to stick to it? Yeah, I do. But I also like people to go off script. And I like people to go off script and talk about shit that either makes them feel uncomfortable or makes them feel comfortable or what they like, what they dislike. I like that shit. So, yeah, no, you right on the money. It is funny because it's like, you know, going deep on certain things, but I think that's authenticity. I think that's authentic. I will tell you one thing. I won't sit in this chair and bullshit you. Like I will sit in this chair and if I do a stream, I will tell you exactly what the fuck I think and I don't give a fuck. And sometimes it pisses people off, sometimes it doesn't, but not even that part of it. It's just I'm talking and I'm going to tell you what's on my mind. And I love that because that's what I want other people to do. And I bartend for a living. I talk for a living. So I'm constantly having to talk all the time. But I love talking about subjects that come off the fly, come out of nowhere, catching curveballs. And somebody says, yeah, man, this reminds me of blah, blah, blah. And then in my mind, it gets me going and thinking about this and that. And I love that stuff because that's what I like to do. Do I like to have topics and keep things in line? Yeah, sometimes because you might have something you really want to say, or it might be a review, or it might be about a show, or just something that irked you or you really like. I also like to just take it off the fucking cuff and start talking, and then watching the chat and gauging the chat, and it's like, where are they going with it, right? Where are they going? And I love that. So, yeah, I got no problem with it. I can tell you that right now. I love it. Graph going out to Target to pick up some G.I. Joes. Better take your spear. Yeah. Well, back in the day, I guess. Hell, you might have to do it nowadays. It depends on how some of the collectors that you come across, how they react to you when you walk in. Isn't it funny? I know you guys have been there because I've been there. Isn't it funny when you go in somewhere to like a Target or a Walmart, you're marching back there, and you know what I'm talking about. You're marching back to that toy aisle, boy. You're doom 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 doom, and you're on your way. And you know, as soon as you get back there, you're either going to be really disappointed, which is 95%, 98% of the time, or 2% of the time you're pleasantly surprised and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this had that. The figure, I would have grabbed that figure off the peg, which is rare. But you're marching back there. Doom, 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 right? And can you imagine if there was somebody waiting on you to take your ass out as soon as you walked up? Can you imagine if the competition was there? Because it reminds me of like walking into places like that and then you see someone else that has like a Punisher shirt on or a Daredevil shirt on or a G.I. Joe shirt on, and you're like, oh, that motherfucker's here too because he saw that Facebook post. He saw that Facebook post that they've got whatever, blah, 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 out at Targets right now. And we've all converged on Target. And when you walk in, you see that motherfucker and you're like, oh, I know why that guy's here. Like, he's here because he's on the same aisle I am. I know why he's here. It's like primal, dude. I've had people look at me and they go, look, they didn't even ask me. Didn't even ask me why I was there. I had a guy. I was walking into a Target to check because it was like street. It wasn't even. I don't even know if it was a street date. Word got out they had cases and whatever. And I remember walking in, and it was a post. It was like, hey, they've got 2 of these and 2 of these classified on the shelf. And I remember walking in, and I passed by this guy, and I've got on like a, dude, I swear to God, I don't even know what shirt it was. I mean, it was maybe a toy shirt, but it wasn't a dead giveaway. Might have been a Millennium Falcon shirt or something. Anyway, and dude literally turns to me. Didn't even speak to me beforehand. I didn't say nothing to him. I'm walking down the aisle. He's walking the other way. He stops. He goes, well, if you came here for so-and-so, they're already out of it. And the other ones, they're not going to sell them to you because they're not the street date yet. And I was like, I don't know this motherfucker from anybody else. How did he know that I'm marching down the fucking aisle? How did this guy even know? I'm like, who is this guy? How did he even know? It's like tribal. It's like he could sense it. But can you imagine showing up like they did in the 80s, people fighting over Cabbage Patch Kids and shit like that? You went to go get G.I. Joe classified figures at Walmart or Target, and there's somebody there that's literally ready to knock your block off. And one of you is going to be leaving with it, and the other one's going to have a sore jaw. Like that's... That shit would be amazing. Fucking Hunger Games for classifieds. Let's see here. Safe space. Yes, safe space. And what was it? What was the 2 characters? What were the 2 comic characters they introduced? Was it fucking Marvel or whatever? Safe space and Snowflake. Safe space and Snowflake. I know you guys remember that stupid shit. Love some freestyle, Will. Let's see here. Santa says, how would will things change once you're 1K monetized? Nothing. I don't know. Why would they change? If I ever got to that point, the reason I got to that point was because of this. And I don't know, it's going to take me 8 years, Stanley. By the time I get there, I'll probably be dead. You know, it's like, I don't know. 1K, Stanley, I can tell you this. If I made content, I will tell you guys one thing. I will say this. I don't even try. Okay? I do live streams a couple times a week. I don't even make videos. I don't edit anything. I don't fuck with it. I don't even try. But I can tell you, if I tried, I don't think it would take me long to get monetized. If I tried. But I don't. I don't try. I like doing this. I like talking to 9 people. There's like 9 people watching. At least that's what StreamYard tells me. That's fine with me. It doesn't bother me. Like, I'm not out to rule the world, you know? But I get what you're saying. Would things change if I got monetized? I would like to say no. I will tell you there would be more people in the chat. There would be other people coming in, and that's where things get weird because you have existing people who have been watching you for a long time, and then you have people that like, hey, there's new people. And, you know, it's how those people get along, and you always, you know, if you're trying to grow your channel, you want new people to come in. You want to entertain new people. You want new people to watch you if that's what you're really after. And those things can clash, right? But that's, you know, I guess a good problem for some people to have. But yeah, I don't really try to grow the channel at all, much to the chagrin of Matthew, I'm sure. But I should, you know, for fun anyway. It'd be nice to get monetized. That's probably a great feeling for those that do. I'm never fastest as a toy aisle due to my gait. Well, look, I mean, you know what I'm saying though, right? Like it's observational humor though. You know what I'm saying, Stanley? Like those of us that are marching to the back of the aisle, right? And you pass by somebody who knows why you're there. even though you've never seen this person in your life. Graf says the best are the Hot Wheels collectors. They take it to another gear in the early morning and speed walk to the diecast goodness. Yeah, I have seen those. I have seen them. Not often because I'm not an early to rise person, but I have seen them when I have been. And you're right. It is fucking nuts. Mother Slug says, I'll be honest, I don't have much. So live streams are my escape room for life. Hey, I fucking love that. Absolutely love that. Same. I speak the truth and most can't handle it. Chad is one of them. I'm glad you're on the same level as him. I wouldn't even say I'm on the same level as Chad. I will tell you this, Mother Slug. I had a good conversation with Chad. I was glad to have Chad on the stream last Tuesday. I really wanted him and Matthew on a stream together because I respect both of those guys and their knowledge equally to an extent. I've known Matthew much longer than Chad. I don't know Chad that well. I did reach out to him though after what happened to him with a somewhat similar experience, but not exactly the same. But I had a great conversation with him. I think the guy's funny as shit. There's a lot of things that he and I share. That thought process and some views that he has. I think he's really good. And so, yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought I had a great time having him on the channel. I thought it was a great time having him on the stream. It brought a couple new eyeballs to the channel, which I'm grateful for. But that wasn't the reason I did it. The reason I did it is because I liked what he had to say, and I really had a good time having him on. And I look forward to that in the future. And would have watched the Helldiver stream, actually, but I told him I had to take my mom out to dinner with my sister for Mother's Day, which obviously is a great excuse. But yeah, I look forward to talking to Chad more, man. I like the cut of his jib, if that makes sense. Cypher63 says, I hate seeing another collector in the aisle. Isn't it always weird though, you guys? Like you could comment on this too, obviously. Isn't it weird sometimes when you go in that classified aisle or at Target where they have the Transformers? It's the same ones. We know how they set it up. And they got the Marvel Legends and they got the G.I. Joes, and then they've got like the Transformers, and then behind you might be like the Minecraft figures or the fucking Sonic figures or whatever it is. It's always kind of weird walking into that aisle because every now and then there's like a kid with his mom, and in my part of town, when I go to Target, it's like hot moms. It just is. They're hot moms. And so I see the kids there. Then every now and then you'll see another dude. And it's like, you're like, all right, motherfucker, what you looking at? Trying to check out this classified? You over there on Marvel Legends, motherfucker. Maybe you need to go around the corner to the other aisle where the wrestling figures are. Check out Star Wars. I'll be over here with G.I. Joe. It's like, it's funny to me sometimes you run into somebody on there. It's great. Yeah, Will. It's fun. It's fun. I like to do it because it's fun. Yeah, I have friends that make money. Not a lot. My cousin's monetized, I believe. I think so. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, you want to make money, you want to do this for a living, you got to be extremely dedicated. You crash, buddy. You do your thing. Don't you worry about me. You do you, buddy. This is what makes your stream feel real and down to earth, and we're here for it, and I'm glad for it. I appreciate it, Will, very much. And I love doing it, and I love shooting the shit. So for you guys that enjoy that, man, I'm really glad, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you're engaging and commenting, because it obviously that's what I want. I want to sit here and talk the whole time and not have something to bring up. I enjoy seeing what y'all have to say. I for sure do. I think you've grown 7 subs since Chad's cameo last week. And you know what? And that could be a bit of having new eyeballs. But I also think, Stanley, that there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like getting exposed to people who maybe would never ever know about you unless you maybe reach out and you talk to people, right? You like what they do, or maybe something happened to them and you can relate to that, right? And you say, hey, would you like to do something, or vice versa? You know, those things happen, but they're natural. It's not contrived. I can tell you that. That it was not contrived to reach out to Chad just so I could gain 5 subs or six, like, you know what I'm saying? That would be silly. So no, it was not contrived at all. The only thing I wish I had done was actually had talked to Matthew beforehand, before having Chad on the stream, because as a streaming partner who's done 100 episodes with Matthew, that was not a great thing to do. That's a shitty thing to do to somebody that you know that well. And we hashed that out, and I explained that on the stream. But that was shitty on my part. I just was really excited. I was like, man, I'd love to have both these guys on the stream together because they're both very knowledgeable, and opinionated. And I love people that don't back down from their opinions. I love that. So yeah, man. You had me at hello. It was the hat, man. Don't lie. Okay, let's see. Todd Cease's only dudes I see are scalpers, resellers in the aisles at Target, Walmart. I never see them. Tall towers, so those collectors that try to hide toys on the top shelves, I pull them and share them with everybody else. That's great. Lord knows we used to do it as kids, right? Stanley says, oh, most of the figure collectors in my area, but the Hot Wheelers are a different breed. You got that right. So, I mean, really, I saw it once in action, let alone the Pokemon card collectors, right? You got people spending the night in fucking stores, right? You literally got people that are willing to risk their freedom of going to jail over spending the night inside a fucking Target just so they can, what? Be on camera stealing Pokemon card boxes? Like, I don't fucking get it, man. Like, you already have issues. If you're doing that shit, you got fucking issues. The Pokemon cards are the least of your problems, right? Like, that's the least of your problems. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Yeah, hey, Graf, have a good night, man. I appreciate you hanging out. You know that. You absolutely know that. Own most of the figure collectors in my area, but the Hot Wheels are a different breed. No, comma, own. Oh, you know them. Know them. Okay, I get what you're saying. I figured it's in the ballpark. Hey, I collect Hot Wheels, you son of a bitch. You shut your dirty mouth. And then Cypher63 says, I found 3-star through Crow, and I found you through 3-star win in my book. Hey, fuck it. I love it. I think that's great. That's how it works, right? Yeah, that's how it works. And I enjoy it. And I love doing this. Monetized or not, man. You know, like monetized or not. It's just fun. I love talking. So look, we got to finish up. We'll finish up here. We got to go back to our list. I know we lost a few people, but that's okay. And the resellers won't look you in the eyes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, resellers usually give the side eye. You see them in the aisle. Damn, you guys have had more experiences with those sons of bitches than I have, I guess. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not had a ton of experiences with those guys, man. Okay. I'm going to share our best TV moms. Let's see. There we go. Boom. This tab right here. This is the tab. Last call for votes, but I think we got most all of them. There's a few that didn't get any, but like, look, this is a big ass list, right? I was taking them from the chat. Everybody's throwing them out. I love it. But we probably could have whittled the list down a little bit to like a 10 or 15, right? Then vote, right? Hey, some of them are, Todd. Some of them are. Hey, look, I'm Claire Huxtable back in the day. Shoot. Better come on. Or like when they went to It's a Different World from Where You Come From. When Different World was on, excuse me. Yeah. Get that Jungle Fever back in the day, yo. You have no idea, man. Carol Brady, she did not. Carol wasn't like, I got her on here. I think I did. Pretty sure I did. June Cleaver. She might not have made the list, but she wouldn't get enough votes at this point, right? She wouldn't get enough points at this point, Will. And saying, look, she'd get it. Yeah, she'd get it. She got it from, like, the teenagers that were on the show. uh, I never say the B word, as you'll never hear me say it. As I always say, see you when I see you. Dig it. Like it. That's cool. I like that. That's cool. Let's see. Roseanne. Come on, Pop. You sick, man. Dude, there ain't no way in fuck. You got me fucked up with somebody else. I don't know who that motherfucker is, but it ain't me. Yeah. No, I get you, brother. It's all good. It's all good, my friend. And then yeah, hey, you know, and we all have our stuff. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We all have our stuff. We all have the things we do and don't let go, and the hills that we will stand on. And I appreciate all of those hills for sure. They're all important. All right. So yes, and yes. There you go. Bing bang boom. Binga banga bongo. All right. Let's take a look at our votes. What? Oh my god. All right. Peg Bundy, Tammy Taylor, Friday Night Lights, tied with 2. Marge Simpson tied. She has 1. Lucy has 1. Suzanne Summers, Step by Step, has 1. Maggie Seaver has 1. Gloria from Modern Family only has 1. But this wasn't about the hottest moms. I think she would win out of all of them, probably. Even at her age. Mama from Mama's Family has 1. There's, June Cleaver has 1. Let's move it up. Norma Arnold from The Wonder Years has 2. Lois Wilkerson, Malcolm in the Middle has 2. Elise Keaton, Family Ties has 2. And Tammy Taylor, Friday Night Lights has 2. Peg Bundy has 2. All right. Roseanne has 3. Uno, dos, tres. The only other person that has 3 is Kitty Foreman from That 70s Show. She has 3. And then that takes us to the grand prize winner, ladies and gentlemen. The grand prize winner. The lovely, the talented, magical, and mysterious Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable is our winner of our Mother's Day Best TV Moms. She's smart, she's sassy, she's sexy, she's a lawyer, and we never once got to see her, I believe, at her practice because Bill Cosby, it was his name on the show. So let's not kid ourselves, y'all, okay? And Mother Slug says, and I never drink wine. A movie reference, anyone. I never drink wine. Shit. You got me there. I ain't gonna lie. You got me there. And it is too late for me to even try to think about it at this time frame. At least I'm not going to Google it anyway. I'm not going to look it up. That'd be cheating. I'm not going to cheat. Yeah, Claire Huxtable. The lovely and talented, as Cypher63 says, run away. Okay. Is that when Keanu is meeting Dracula? Is that scene? For the first time or the first, early time? I could be wrong. Or is that... Sir, oh my God. Yeah, it's late when I can't even fucking, when I can't even remember actors' names. It's part of what I do. Holy cow. Yes, dinner table scene. Okay, boom. All right. Holy shit. Whew, good call by me. Yeah. I do remember that, but it's like, holy crap. Yeah. I love that movie. Gary Oldman, yes. Thank you. Yes, I do. I do love that movie. Does it have cheesy parts? Yes. Are there laughable moments in it? Yes. Keanu's acting in it is suspect. But if you polled most people, especially those who have seen it, they have a fondness for that movie. That obviously you guys do too. That I do too. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay. Yeah, and a young Winona Ryder, of course, 100%. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Claire Huxtable is our Mother's Day winner, and I'm sure she'll be thrilled to be notified of her victory. Felicia Rashad, whom, look, I mean, obviously is older now at 77 years old. She is just a couple months older than my mom, actually, by the date. By the date. Wait, hang on. No, not by the date. A year and 2 months by the date. I got tricked. But, yeah, she still looks great. Is married to Ahmad Rashad. And if you were a sports fan growing up in the 80s, you know who Ahmad Rashad is. Because he was everywhere on TV. Ahmad Rashad, great personality, great smile. Cool dude. They've done well. Yeah, they've done well. And meanwhile, then you have old homeboy here, Mr. Jello Pudding Pop. Would you love a Jello Pudding Pop sometime, kiddos? Well, I put some sleeping medicine in it. Wait, not for the kiddos. That was for his dates. Let's not confuse Bill. He had problems of another kind, but not with kids. Not that we know of. Anyway. All right, look. I'm going to get out of here. It is 2:20 Eastern, 1:20 Central Standard Time. Appreciate you guys hanging out for sure. Sunday nights are a cornucopia of topics. It could be wherever the hell my mind goes. Tuesday nights is where it is truly pop culture and movies with Matthew Matson, TV shows, and we kind of try to stick to a nice tight little schedule there. Sunday nights, free form, whatever. You guys can kind of guide it sometimes too. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. Lick that like button. Tell a buddy, bring a friend if you love hanging out and chilling, man. I really appreciate it. Steve, Delta 17, there is the man. Not that we know if it's right. Hey, good to see you though, buddy, for sure. And I would love to have the magic pen to draw to something. I would love to do that because that was something else growing up that was fun. But yeah, man, look, you guys have a great night. I really appreciate you hanging out. Be back next Sunday, and obviously this Tuesday with Matthew. Same bat channel, a little bit different time, but keep a lookout for the Evening Blend, and we'll be here to talk about some movies and TV shows, man. Until then, I will leave y'all with one of my. If you haven't been here before, one of my favorites. I'll get out of here. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you next time. Really appreciate it.
So long, gay boys!